Good evening. Good evening. That was it was a bittersweet opening, right? So as this song was, yes, recorded at the Jackson State University in 1996. This is to basically pay homage to Mama Burks, who went on to glory yesterday. I'm going to actually open up the show with a couple of gospel songs, a couple of her songs, an interview that she has, just because that Southern gospel, it is something that carried a lot of folks, and even to this day, those types of songs are classics. I mean, you just, I remember as a little girl, my aunt would every Saturday morning, but Saturday and Sunday morning. Saturday morning, I'll wake up to the gospel music. Sunday morning before church, we'll listen to the gospel music, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, Dottie Peoples, and those types of songs really resonate with me. They've stayed with me. I love, as you can see, one of my favorite gospel songs that I always have on this show. That is something that, as a little girl, that I grew up with. And I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of more things. Jerome, of course, he's very good at finding like all the clips and music. So I'm getting ready to play an interview with Mama Burks of the Mississippi Mass Choir, and she's just talking a little bit about the album that she ended up recording at the age of 70. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that, and then listen to a couple of gospel music songs just to open up the show. Yes, and it brings, this should, if you have a grandmama or grandfather or your aunties, great aunts, this is literally the type of music that they listen to. So it brings back some of those core memories attached to the music. So let me go ahead and play this one. This is the interview.
Opportunities to be invited, to sing in various areas, just myself, and had the privilege of doing a solo album. It's really beyond my vocabulary to explain what I feel about having the privilege to do a solo album. Gee.
As a matter of fact, you recorded it at the age of, at a time that people normally would be recording an album. But if you don't mind telling people, how were you when you recorded the album?
I was 70. I did the great big 7-0 for that album, and I feel fantastic. I had 3 scriptures that I dwelled on because people were trying to say you couldn't do that. So every day I would, and I still do, one of the scriptures is Joshua 14, where Caleb said, "Give me this mountain." Amen. The same strength that he had when Moses called him, he said that he had it then. So that was, I got that. And the next one was First Chronicles 4:10, I believe, is where Jabez said, ask the Lord to bless him indeed, and enlarge his coast, and the Lord's hands is upon me. Even evil and grief kept from me. I ate that every day. And the other one was in 2 Kings 2, about a double portion of his Holy Spirit. Goodness, and every day, praise God, I ate that. So when that came time for me to do that album, no problem.
Okay, let me see if I got another clip here. There we go.
And we gonna have and that great coronation. And we gonna have and that great coronation. We're gonna have a good time. When we get over the hump, we're gonna have a good time. Oh, what a feeling, y'all. Oh, what a great day. We'll be with Jesus. We'll be with Jesus. We'll be with the King of Kings. We'll be with the Lord of Lords. We're gonna put on our long white robe and die there. And we'll walk up and down the street. And we'll walk up and down the street. In that new Jerusalem land. We'll do a little feast of cheer. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna listen to a concert by the English director, my neighbor. Then I do a little holy dance. I do a little holy dance. Gonna have a good time. Will you be there?
One of these mornings, it won't be long. You'll look for me, and I'll be gone. I'm going to a place I'll have nothing to do but just walk around heaven all day. When I get to heaven, I'll sing and shout. Nobody will be able to put me out. No, my mother will be waiting, and my father too. We'll walk around heaven all day. Just hear me pray and walk have no end. We'll do nothing but sing. God knows we'll pray. But when he says, well done, we'll raise heaven alone. I'll walk around. I'll walk around. When I've sung my last song. When I prayed I'll just walk around. Walk around.
All right. Last one, y'all. Last one. And then we're going to get into the show. Last one. This is kind of like the opening that we normally do where it's non-SWAC related. Dang, can you guys hear me now? Okay. It should work now. All right. This is the last one. At least for me, y'all. I love this song. This is a tribute, of course, to Mama Burks. She done went on to glory. And so we're doing Southern Gospel Tribute. Southern Gospel Tribute, y'all. This is my last one right here. But baby, when I tell you, it does something to me, man.
There was a little church sitting down in the woods. And at this church, they had a choir there. And they could sing real well. And there was an old deacon there. Had been going to that church for a mighty long time. And every Sunday morning, he would always beg that choir director, said, listen, would you let me sing a song? He said, I got a song that I want to sing. But you know what that choir director told him? He said, oh man, you too old to sing in this choir. He said, you got a trembling voice. Look ahead. Heard the old man say, and y'all might not believe it, but when you get old, won't folks do you like that? When you get old, people will just push you on aside. But they went to church that next Sunday morning. And they noticed that the old man wasn't sitting in the corner. And they went on back to church that next Sunday morning. And they knew that the old man still wasn't sitting in the corner. They get worried now. And they went on back that next Sunday morning. And they knew that the old man still wasn't sitting in the corner. Somebody began to ask questions about it. Did anybody seen the old man? Look at here. Is anybody heard from the old man? Finally, a voice just came down from heaven way. I believe I'm gonna let Daddy tell you what the voice said. I found me a choir that will let me sing. You know what I'll be doing. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know what? By the time they recognized whose voice it was, and everybody began to look up toward heaven, and that old man's voice began to talk to. He said, children, one thing about this choir that I sing with now. He said, we don't have to wait until Sunday morning to sing. Every morning, we get together and we sing songs that you never heard in your life. And if y'all don't mind, if y'all don't mind, if y'all don't mind, gonna let Daddy tell you what he's saying. One more time, can he tell? Let me sing, you know what I sing. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
The heavenly choir. I had to get off there and mute myself because I was singing it and I was out of key and I was singing it. So I put myself on mute and turned it off because when I tell you that type of music does something to me. I grew up on that as a little girl. Dottie Peoples. All of them. So, we were just acknowledging Mama Burks, who passed away yesterday, and so we had a little tribute. You know, just a little a tribute to one of our queens of gospel. She's went on to glory, and I just figured I would share some of those songs. That there's a lot of greats that have gone on. Mighty Clouds of Joy, I want to say, I'm pretty sure most of the founding members of that particular music group, Williams Brothers. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing? You done got me stirred up in here now.
I done got you stirred up.
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s. We have a place in Atlanta called the Beautiful Restaurant. It's down on that's Cascade. I think that's Cascade and David. Is it Ralph David Abernathy? And this particular Sunday night, my wife and I went in, and the Mississippi Mass Choir was there. I didn't talk to her, but what they did after they finished eating, they did a cappella for everybody in the restaurant. And I mean, they turned the place out. Oh, yeah. But let me say this now. If you're going to talk about Southern gospel, now, you know you got to play Sam Cooke and the original Soul Stirrers now. And don't forget
Wait,
now.
I have to play who, Mr. Ford?
His name was Sam Cooke. The group was called Sam Cooke and the original, the Soul Stirrers. They were actually out of Memphis. Sam was from Clarksdale, Mississippi. The group was out of Memphis, Tennessee. My
Nearer
parents,
to Thee? What am I playing?
anything, all that stuff was brilliant, man. My
Father
family,
Home,
my uncles and
Lord,
aunts
remember
would
me.
go in when they would come to Albany, Georgia. The original Soul Stirrers would come. They would go and see them. That was really big. That was really big. That's a part of our culture.
So Nearer to Thee, Farther
Yeah,
Along.
yeah. Nearer to Thee was a big one.
Okay, I'll
Nearer to Thee. Don't forget that. Aretha Franklin's daddy was one of the ones who sponsored that Southern Gospel tour. And he was, I think he's an alum. Aretha Franklin's dad was an alum of Jackson State.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
hold up a minute. Mr. Ford over here dropping the
Yeah,
historical
he went to
context.
Jackson State. He was from Sunflower County, Mississippi. His name was C.L. Franklin. He was one of the first gospel singers to be a registered millionaire. He used to sing and he would preach. They would put his sermons on wax. One of them was called, this was done, I think in the 50s, was called The Eagle Stirreth the Nest. Yeah, that was Aretha Franklin's dad. See, everybody would tell you, if you ever met Aretha Franklin, her demeanor and how she acted was Southern. But they didn't understand that. See, she was actually, I think they were from Memphis. They was kicked out of Memphis because of her dad's indiscretions. That's how they ended up in Detroit. That's how they ended up. Yeah, but now the dad, C.L. Franklin, was from Sunflower County, Mississippi. He went to Jackson State. Yeah. And he did some stuff at a church in Memphis that he was basically kicked out of the church. And then he showed up at a church in Detroit, Michigan. Oh, okay, Mr. Well, you said the Soul Stirrers were out of Chicago. Okay. For some reason, I linked them with Memphis.
Boy,
yeah.
Mr. Ford, every time you come up here, you're going to drop some gems.
Oh, yeah. And remember now that gospel music actually started here in Georgia. With the founder of gospel music was a guy named Thomas Dorsey. He was the one who wrote Precious Lord, Take My Hand. He was from a town here in Georgia called LaGrange, Georgia. He started out, oh man, what's that lady's name? She was, he used to play for that lady. You know who I'm talking about. Viola Davis played her. It was Viola Davis, Chaz Boswick. It was Glenn Turman. Remember that movie? That lady was named Mom Rainey. You remember Mom Rainey?
Yeah.
Listen, Thomas Dorsey was her trumpet player. No, her piano player. He dropped that, I think, after his wife died and became a gospel, he started writing gospel music. Yeah. Thomas Dorsey is the father of gospel music. Now, the other one that you can't, that's right. There you go. Thank you, Jake. It's Mom Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah. He played for Mom Rainey. He played piano for her, I think.
Sunflower is now Indianola, Mississippi.
God is so wonderful.
Yeah. Man, they were so upset with him when he decided to leave gospel and go rhythm and blues. They were very upset about it.
That's what that rhythm and blues, it comes from gospel.
Yeah, well, actually,
some of the greatest.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah, I'll tell you once it goes off.
Whatever I need, the Lord will provide. And praise my God's name. I know He's so wonderful. And whoa, He's wonderful. And I believe
No, Dre, we're
the
gonna talk
Lord
about
is
college football
wonderful.
today.
Yes, He is. And whoa, He's wonderful. I know the Lord, He's so wonderful. Yes, He is. And whoa, if you never tried God, try the Lord one day and see what my Father come down and make a way. And whoa, and oh, I can't help but love God. He's so wonderful. And whoa, and oh, He's a yes, He is. And I
Hey, Jay.
Hey y'all, hey Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm on my break right now. I ain't gonna be too long, but I wanted to hop up and tell y'all that Drake had actually put in the chat. He said both Aretha Franklin and Brandy's dad, they both went to Jackson State.
Yeah, and her mother went to Southern.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think she's some kin to Snoop. I think Brandon Snoop are cousins.
Oh yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Snoop is definitely has Mississippi roots. They, you know.
yeah,
But I
cause
was going to tell you also that one of the greatest motivators for Dr. Martin Luther King was Mahalia Jackson. Now, they said if you wanted to really hear him preach, let Mahalia sing before him. That would take him to another level. Because that's why remember, she was the one at the March on Washington who said, Martin, tell them about your dream. That's her. And they asked her to perform a song was called How We Got Over, How We Made It Over. That's Mahalia Jackson. She was from New Orleans. But she moved from New Orleans to Chicago.
yeah, and also he also marched in the boom as well, Brandy's dad.
Yeah, that's right. That's
And
right.
that, yeah, they actually from Macomb. Brandy, Ray J, yeah, they were born in Macomb.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Brandy's dad, Willie Ray Norwood pledged Q at Yee in 1968. What?
yeah, that's the
What?
Jackson State chapter right there.
The what?
The Jackson State chapter of Q Sci-Fi.
Listen, I want you to play this song. I was a little kid. This song it was gospel, but they played it on the pop charts. It was called, what's that guy's name? They were the Hawkins. One of them guys was, I think his name was Tremaine Hawkins. This song came out like about 1969. It was called, it was on the pop charts, the gospel charts, and it was on the R&B charts. Wait a minute. I'll take you. Wait a minute. Not I'll take that. No, that's not it. Yep. It was Tremaine Hawkins.
I never lost praise, changed.
No.
I know.
This song went number one on all the charts.
Angels and
and here it is. It's called Oh Happy Day. Play that for me. Oh Happy Day. That song went number one on the pop charts. The white people loved it. It went number one on the R&B charts, and it went number one on the gospel charts. It was called Oh Happy Day.
Well, why everybody cutting up in the chat?
Are they cutting up during the gospel session?
What they saying? What they saying?
I don't know. I don't know what they said because I'm looking for Oh Happy Day.
Yeah, Oh Happy Day. Listen, all the black colleges bands used to play it. Fam would play it. Marsh Brown would play it. All of it. This was like 68, 69. I want to say it was the Hawkins family. I might be wrong on that. But this was like 1968, 69. It was called Oh Happy Day. All the black college bands played it.
1968. Probably 67, to tell the truth. I was a part
Jay, do you see Drake cutting up
of
in
an
the
awesome choir and director.
Yes, we're doing SWAC Media. This is
I
gospel.
believe I was the youngest then, close
Y'all
to it,
need
huh,
Jesus
Edwin?
in your life. Let it use
With
you.
my
Open
brother
up your
Edwin.
spirit.
sat down at the piano and penned
Is this the song, Mr.
this
Ford?
old
No, it was no.
called "Oh Happy Day."
It was like a group. It was like a
It was
choir.
recorded in my grandfather's church.
Yeah,
That might be. Let's see. Let's
I
hear it.
just want to
Let's
give
see
you
what it
honor
says.
tonight, Edwin.
Yeah, Trent Walker, Mr. Walker, you're right. There was Edwin Hawkins and Tremaine Hawkins, but this song was so major. It was
Sing in me.
it was called "Oh Happy Day."
Perhaps when I was
I don't
about
think it's
Oh
right.
17
Happy
years
Day.
old, I
Yeah,
realized
it was like a bunch of teenagers and singing it.
I
They were a
remember
choir.
he really
Wait, are you
taught me.
talking about from that movie Sister Act?
That's
That's
why
what I remember.
that's why I'm up here struggling through
I
this
remember
erudition.
from back in the day.
He
This,
said,
like I
"Can you
said,
my
it was.
voice? You can sing. You can reach those notes. You can do
Yeah,
it."
somebody said try Edwin Hawkins.
That is stay
Edwin
for
Hawkins. Hey, Dr. Kanisha.
I love you. Everybody's kind of done a little bit of this.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When the Jesus was.
That's it.
Oh, when he
I don't know if that's the original.
Oh, when he washed my sins away. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. He taught me how. He taught me
Yeah, I'm like you, Tiger Nation. That's not the original. I think the original was with the Hawkins family.
That's Tremaine Hawkins. Uh-oh, Dr. Kanisha, get your tambourine.
Yeah, that didn't sound like the original had it was another voice. But that was, man, that went,
Peter said it looks like he's going to have to put down his whiskey and pick up some communion wine.
yeah. Now, I know you remember Clara Ward, don't you?
No, Mr. Ford, I don't.
Hey, she was interesting. Clara, supposedly when Clara died, they said they made people pay to come to her funeral.
What?
Wait a minute. Why would you pay to be at somebody's funeral?
That was it. Yeah, they said they had a funeral in Los Angeles and people had to pay to come to it.
That is so ghetto. Why would you make somebody pay to come to the funeral? Did they pay?
Yeah, Clara was, and then Clara was very close with Aretha Franklin. I mean, there was a lot of people were close with Aretha because Clara supposedly was very close with her father. But Clara was, I'm trying to think it was Clara Ward and the Ward Singers or something like that. Now Clara would be on TV. She would be on the Ed Sullivan Show. She would be on all those shows. She was big. Clara supposedly was an alcoholic. That's what killed her.
How much did they charge, Mr. Ford? $10?
I have no idea, but that was always the myth that they told that they made people pay to come to her funeral. Because I think her funeral was in Los Angeles.
That is crazy.
Lord
You
have
man, listen,
mercy.
man. Y'all talking about some history.
Edwin Hawkins
Huh?
was the original. They said Edwin Hawkins is the original.
Yeah, that's what I want you to play. When he's on the piano and he has that choir behind him, and that one came out like 68 or 69. That's the classic. That "Oh Happy Day," that's the original one.
Nephew said I would have had to just wait to see her in heaven. I'm not paying.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if that, but they always said that about that people pay to come to her funeral.
Clara was in a relationship with C.L. Franklin. Lord, y'all dropping this tea.
No, that was known. That was known. That was known.
It was
That
known
was-
by who? Who is C.L. Franklin?
C.L. Franklin was Aretha Franklin's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Aretha Franklin's dad. He was, I told you, he was one of the first gospel singers to be a registered millionaire. He would sing and he would preach, and they would put his sermon. Listen, if you can, he had a sermon. You got to play all of it. He had a sermon called "The Eagle Stirreth the Nest," and it was played all over the country.
Supposedly buck wild.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was something else.
Was he
But,
something else?
yeah, he was something else. I just told you they ran. Listen, okay, I was trying not to go that deep on it. They ran him out of Memphis because of a relationship he had with a 13-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Boy, allegedly, y'all.
Yeah.
He was ran out to
Out of
Detroit.
Memphis. He was ran, and that's how he ended up in Detroit.
But I do know that they did. I'm not saying that it was right, but I do know that back in those days, they definitely had some older men who messed with younger.
Listen, I was trying to tell you. Now, if you want to do history, there's nothing like the history of gospel music. You start talking about the Sister Rosetta Tharpe. We just talked about who was known in the biography they did on her. Mahalia Jackson, you know what her vice was, right?
Y'all type allegedly in the chat.
Allegedly, her vice was she was a gambler. She gambled real heavy. But that was, at that time, that was popular because that was one of the vices of Ella Fitzgerald. She was a heavy gambler. Yeah. And Ella, most people say in secular music, she had the greatest voice from about 1930 until she died. They thought that, a lot of people said that after Ella Fitzgerald, it was Aretha Franklin. And then supposedly after Aretha Franklin, it was supposed to be Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was supposed to take over for Aretha Franklin.
What's after Whitney Houston, Mr. Ford?
Ooh, I'd have to, let me think about it. I'd have to go back and look at it because I'm gonna be honest with you, baby. This music right now, music is gone down. If you ask me, it's not what it was.
Oh, Aretha had 2 kids by the time she was 15.
Yeah, and she had a brother that went to Morehouse. She had a sister that went to Clark Atlanta. Yeah, and they catered to her. Yeah, that's right. Remember, they said that at Aretha Franklin's house, their home was like an embassy. They said Aretha would come down stairs on a Friday, and Malcolm X was in their house. She'd come down on a Saturday, and Martin Luther King was in their house. And all of the entertainers, whether they were gospel, whether they were secular, were always in their house. She was, they would always teach different people. Jazz artists were always teaching her different things.
By her daddy, allegedly. I don't believe that.
No. The first baby was from, I think, a boy whose father was a minister. The second baby, I think that boy, was he a musician? Because she disclosed who the children was from. She told them. Now, one of her actual husband, her first husband, he was a pimp. He lived to be almost 90 years old. I think his name was Teddy White or something. That was Aretha's husband. He was a pimp. He was way older than her.
A pimp?
Yeah, he worked for Diana. Are you familiar with Diana Washington?
Diana who?
Diana Washington.
Oh, no.
She was real big in the 50s. But Teddy worked for Diana. Teddy was, you can look him up. Just look up Teddy White. I think his name was Teddy White. Teddy just died maybe a year or two ago. It hadn't been that long. He lived to be, I think, 90.
Dina Washington.
Well, you said Dinah?
His name was Teddy White.
That's
Teddy
about the
White.
woman. You said her name was
Dinah
Dinah.
Washington. Born
Yeah, Dinah Washington. Yeah, she was real big in the 50s. Dinah died.
Queen of the Blues. Queen
Yeah,
of the
that's her. She was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I believe. She started out in the church too.
She died early. She died at the age of 39 in Detroit.
Yeah, she was taking them diet pills and it killed her.
What?
Yeah, she was taking them diet pills.
Wait, that name sounds
Y'all
familiar
stay
now.
up off that Ozempic. Y'all stay up off the Ozempic.
Yeah, Dinah used to sing with a guy named Brooke Benton. You ever heard of Brooke Benton?
Brooke Benton.
Brooke Benton and Dinah Washington used to sing together. They were like Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, Luther Vandross. What's that girl's name that he could sing? Oh, him. This was in the late 70s, early 80s. That was a young lady. She was a student at the University of Southern Cal. She used to do duets with Luther Vandross. They were really good.
It was the 1970 ballad "Rainy Night in Georgia."
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
scored
He
more
used
than
to sing with Dinah. He and Dinah used to do duets together.
Oh, wow.
No, I was saying that Dinah Washington she was on what we would call today weight loss pills. She was taking weight loss pills.
Well,
there you go, Cheryl Lynn. That's right. Thank you, Mr. Walker Trent. That's right. It was Cheryl Lynn and Luther Vandross. They were awesome together.
Lord Thetis. Oh my God.
In the words
I
of
gotta
Marvin Gaye, what's going on? What's going on?
Marvin Gaye was something else. You know, Marvin holds the record. He has 5 gold records or 4 gold records with different women. Nobody can touch it. He was Mr. Duet. He had duets with Tammy Terrell, Donna Ross, Kim Weston. He had several duets that went gold. Yeah, that's right. Rainy Night in Georgia. That was his big hit. But he used to sing with, he would do duets with Dinah Washington.
Well, Mr. Ford, SWAC Media Day is less than a week away.
Is it next Tuesday?
It's next Wednesday. Next
Wednesday. Boy, listen, there's a lot of anticipation. A lot of people are talking about it. Oh, by the way, did you hear what you did? You know, Blue was on this week, but he wasn't on his show. He was, it was 2 brothers, 2 guys. They had Blue on. Blue says that the smoke from Prairie View is real. He says it's real. Yeah, yeah. He says that the smoke from Prairie View is real. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Dr. Kanisha said weight loss pills were prescribed amphetamines back in the day. Make your heart nearly explode in your chest.
Yeah, she was what it was. She was like, you know, a lot of people. She got consumed with the fact that she felt that she needed to lose weight. Okay, and she started taking them pills and all that stuff, and that's what killed her. Yeah. Now, what they do today is, you know, if these people get consumed with their weight, now a lot of them go do that, like, you know, liposuction. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, 360 lipo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put my little waist shaper on when I'm out in a place where I need to put. I'm gonna put it right on. Just stuff.
Supposedly
right
that was what Kanye West's mother was trying to get done. I think she was getting a lipo, but the only thing was the guy that she allowed to do it didn't have any medical certification.
Wow.
Yeah, Miss Whitney, I was listening to Blue. Blue said that the smoke in Prairie View is real.
We shall see.
Yeah, he was.
Because at the
But
end of
listen,
the
let me
day,
tell you what they said on the show. They said that
okay.
North Carolina A&T is the CAA's Mississippi Valley.
Ooh. And why are you laughing, Mr. Ford?
That's what they said, because you know Dave and them, let Dave and them tell it. They should be FBS and all of that. But listen, they said on the show that North Carolina A&T is the Mississippi Valley of the CAA.
Just as long as they know that I didn't bring this up, that somebody else was talking about them. Lord have mercy. I agree, RNG. How is the smoke real when PV has a new team and a lot of them have never played together in a game? Not the
Well, he brought up what Blue is saying is that they didn't just go out and get transfers. They got transfers who were starters at the school they were coming from, and that the transfers the transfers that the transfers that Prairie View has, they are quality. And I didn't know until listening to them that one of the quarterbacks from Tennessee State transferred to Valley. Not Valley. Transferred to Prairie View.
Well, he's hiding who the names are, so we'll never know that part.
Well, y'all don't know at the media day, right?
No, you're good. He said he's not releasing any names until the first game.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so what we're gonna do? Listen, it's less than a week away, so we're just gonna do a little pre-gaming with our SWAC Media Day, Mr. Ford. We're gonna be getting all our ducks in a row in terms of questions that we might need to ask.
Okay.
Talk about the pros and cons. Let me go get a piece of paper real quick. Because all I'm going to say is it's Big D and everybody else. Right, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, I got Jackson State and everybody else this year. They were high on Chennis. When they talked about the MEAC, they were high on Chennis. They were high on what's his name?
Mike Vick in Norfolk.
Right, and Trey Oliver. They said that the Celebration Bowl participant from the MEAC would be settled as early as the last of October because their big
they only
game.
got 16.
Yeah, that's right. So they were saying that we would know who was going to win the MEAC real early.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always thought that it came down to those last two games.
They were saying that their best games are early on. That the best, wait a minute. What did he said?
You talking about the North Carolina State or North Carolina Central versus South Carolina State? That's
right. And then don't forget, South Carolina State. South Carolina State has to go to Norfolk for Norfolk's homecoming, and that's in October. Now, Dr. Kanisha, they were not really high on the Bisons right now. They were not high on the Bisons. They thought that the worst team in the MEAC this year would be Coach Jackson up at Delaware State.
Dang.
Yeah, and they said that Morgan State will continue to be an underachiever, which I kind of want Coach Wilson to do well, but they were not high on him either. And they said that the major problem with Morgan State was all offense. Offensive line, quarterback, offensive coordinator. That was all their problem. Everything is offensive problems.
That's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Well, so since the countdown is beginning, I figured that.
And let me tell you this. Listen, I got to tell you this.
Okay.
Mr. Mona, I got to tell you this.
Okay, tell me.
Blue laid down an argument that was so awesome as to why the SWAC needs to get rid of division. Listen, he did a great job. And I totally agree with him. And he laid it down from how it would make us a better conference, how we would make more money, how it would help to eliminate them sorry coaches, because he's saying that when you get rid of divisions, you can't hide anymore. It's best on best. And he talked about the whole nation is going away from divisions. You still got a few like the Sun Belt and a few of those other conferences in the FBS, but most conferences now are going no divisions, you know. And he did a really good job. I wish you could play it. I just don't know those guys' names, but it's two guys. They have people in and out. But anyway.
Well, so to that point, I feel like HBCUs are a little bit different in terms of the main reason why we have divisions, which is travel. And all of those other conferences that you named that moved away from
the division, yeah,
they don't have a travel budget issue. They don't have that problem. It's not a problem for them. For HBCUs and smaller schools, there's a couple of schools that are struggling now traveling. And they're just traveling inside of, we're talking about the schools that they have to go to. And then, you know, they're struggling. So the divisions that we have in place, it's more than just about the same reasons why these other places are doing away with it. And not for nothing, but, and I'm not trying to brag and make it seem like the SWAC conference is just the best conference ever. But in terms of, unless I'm missing something, the SWAC conference as a whole is probably the most stable conference out of any conference in all of FCS.
And the most financially successful out of any of them conferences.
Out of all the G5.
They got all the big classics. Their classics compared to SWAC classics compared to FBS games. When they list the top 10 games in America, for a long time, the Bayou Classic was always in there. Now they list them. You see the Bayou Classic, the Alabama State, Alabama A&M game. Some even list the Florida Classic. So all of the top classic games in FCS are in the SWAC.
Right. So basically the SWAC has the conference as a whole is the most, and when I say is the most, is the strongest, what I mean is you don't have whispers of schools getting ready to jump to a different conference, which in all of these other FCS conferences, there's always whispers or folks who are moving in and out of conferences. Then even at the G5 level, you know, Texas State is now in the Pac-12. Like, what are we doing here? Like, there's so much chaos that's happening that I really don't look towards any conferences to mimic after, because they're so all over the place. They have folks jumping off ship, jumping in and out. Their stability is terrible. The only stability issues that our schools would have, it would be because of finances in athletics.
Well, don't forget, Mr. Mona, don't forget a lack of leadership in the MEAC. That's one of our major problems.
It's lack of leadership in all of these different conferences.
Well, I'm saying that for us. I'm just talking about for us.
Right.
A lack of leadership in the MEAC is their major problem.
If you look at the MEAC,
once again, they don't have a commissioner.
The MEAC only had 6 schools that are in football. A lot of their schools don't even have the sports that the rest of these conferences have.
Well, two of them, okay, it's Coppin State, Maryland Eastern Shore should be sent to the CIAA if they're not going to get a football team. That's common sense, because they have the money to have teams. Okay. It makes no sense for you to be in the MEAC and you don't have a football team. My thing is, if they had a real commissioner, she would basically put her foot down and let them know either you get a football program or you go to the CIAA.
Well, I mean, here's my main point. My main point is this. You look at MEAC's revenue with only 6 schools with the football sports, or excuse me, with football in their athletics. Their revenue is still on par with the CAA minus a couple of 100.
Well, I think you've made it known the CAA is
like the amount of revenue.
The CAA is about to explode. It's about to explode.
Okay, but the CAA had 15 schools, and their revenue generated was at the same as a conference that only has 8 institutions and 6 in football. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm not looking at all these other conferences to tell me what we should be doing. These are the same ones that are keep hollering about how HBCUs should be in the playoffs, knowing that is a hellhole that just drains money.
There you go. That's what it is.
They've been saying, well, you guys don't really, you guys aren't really competitive because you guys don't participate in the playoffs. They are trying to make it seem like the playoffs is fetch, and it's not. And
it's not. It's never was.
Speak for it. The numbers speak for it. It's like you can see the numbers, the revenue, what they're generating. You have brand names like North Dakota State, South Dakota State,
which are FBS schools pretending to be FCS.
Still not pulling in as much revenue as the SWAC.
Oh yeah. Well, like we said, the SWAC has all of the major classic and big games in the FCS. They're in the SWAC. It's the Florida Classic. It's what's it called? The Magic City Classic. You got the Capital City Classic. You got the Bayou Classic. You got the Labor Day Classic. You got the one in Dallas between Prairie View and Grambling. That's called what? The State Fair? Mm-hmm. State Fair Classic. At one time, you had the one in Memphis, which was Jackson State and Tennessee State. That was what? Southern Heritage, right?
Right. I don't have a problem with any of those classics as long as
I don't either.
As long as they're
I don't either.
They're fairly like compensating the schools, because it's came out a couple of times that these different classics that we're not being fairly compensated, and these folks are over here saying, well, you would only.
You're right. I was looking the other day. The state of Georgia is bringing the University of Florida and University of Georgia to the Georgia Dome. I'm sorry, to the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Guess how much they're giving each school?
$1 million?
$7 million.
Wait, who?
They're bringing them to the Georgia Dome. To the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I don't think it's this year.
Right, so they have the money. You just have to be able to negotiate it, and they try to get us for a discount, and they're still making more money. My thing about Tennessee State. Tennessee State had a great season, right? And then they won the OVC. They won that title. And then they went and they paired them with one of the hardest schools that they could possibly.
They've always done that historically. I told you that story.
Who wants to win their division and then you finna go get your ass whooped? I want to have a bowl game.
I've already told you. I told you the story. In 1978, Florida A&M won the first 1AA championship, which we now call it the FCS championship. After that game, the NCAA made over 100 PWIs reclassify from what we call FBS to FCS. And they told them, we didn't set up this 1AA championship for Negro schools like Florida A&M to be winning it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So they rigged it from then on. And so, like you said, what they've always done, whoever came into the 1AA or FCS playoff, they always matched them up against the number 1 or number 2 team because they wanted them out immediately.
Right, but who wants to go through that? I like our structure. I like our
I do too. I like the whole thing of the
and those
celebration
folks
bowl.
can hate all they want to, but when you see the whole thing and how well it's put together, trust me, those boys want to do something like that rather than going up to North Dakota.
And the only problem that we have with the Celebration Bowl is that his name is Mr. Grant. They do such a piss poor job of selling that game to the people of Atlanta. Because I keep telling people, if you're going to bring in a FAMU, a Jackson State, a Southern, you're going to bring them to the Celebration Bowl, that game should be sold out. And it could be sold out if they would do a better job of selling the game to the people here in that metro Atlanta area. And Mr. Grant and them do a piss poor job of selling the game to the people here. We shouldn't have no game with no 36,000. Actually, we shouldn't have a game with 50. The game should be sold out. And they can do it. But they don't do it. That's the only complaint about that Celebration Bowl is that Mr. Grant and his staff does a very poor job of selling that game to the Atlanta metro area.
And then I don't know if maybe that's just that time constraint. Because it's
his excuse is they're not worried about attendance, so as long as people are watching it on TV. That's the excuse.
It's literally a week before. What do we get? 1 week? 1 week, and then it was Celebration Bowl.
Listen, Mr. Mona, there are over 7 million people in the metro area of Atlanta, Georgia. You can't tell me we can't get 70,000 people in that dome. You can't tell me that. It's 7 million people in the Atlanta metro area. I know that we can get 70,000 people in that dome because I've seen it done before.
How you doing,
Hey, what's good with y'all? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, I got a question. When you're talking about promotion, I on my show, I think it was Monday or last week, for the MEAC SWAC Challenge, right? They have a 15-second commercial. And I was so embarrassed to even show it. But you have that game, the SWAC MEAC Challenge game, the stadium that they play in, the school that normally plays in there never has that amount of attendance.
Right. That's Georgia State. Yeah.
Georgia State.
Yeah.
They never have that amount of attendance, but you got a 15-second commercial. Who really wants to buy into a game with a 15-second commercial? And I think when you go to the SWAC Media Days, it's some questions of the commission that needs to be asked. Number one, the TV deal. If he's committed to letting HBCU go, starting to show a lot of classic games, right?
Right.
But Byron Allen has that channel up for sale. So is he going to switch over to HBCU Go, or is he going to renegotiate with ESPN Plus? That's my question I have for the commission.
What you mean he got it for sale?
Byron Allen, his channel, he's trying to sell all his stuff. He's trying to sell the Weather Channel, the Griot. It's all up for sale.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's monopoly capitalism. Listen, did you see all them teams that's been sold in the NBA?
Yes.
The Lakers have been sold.
Yes.
Okay. And it's not just them, it's a number of teams.
Yeah, see, you get billions now. I think the Lakers went for what, 10 billion?
10 billion, yeah. And they weren't the only one. It was at least 5 of them teams were sold.
The Celtics went for like 8 or 9 billion.
Celtics, yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is when it comes to the TV deals, because I think HBCU Go does do a better with their cameras and stuff. It's a better game to watch with them. But if they're gonna sell it, remember when BET was sold, BCF kind of went away. Black college football went away when BET was sold. I don't know if I know Mr. Ford remember BCF, Black college football.
Yeah.
I won't be asking. Listen, I'm not going to ask the commissioner if Byron Allen sells the HBCU Go, no, the Weather Channel and the Grio, what's going to happen to HBCU Go? Like, why would I ask him that? They have a contract that, you know, that contract is in place for, I want to say, till 2030, if I remember correctly. When it first happened, they signed it for a long, extended period of time.
With ESPN Plus?
No.
With
HBCU Go.
With HBCU Go? Okay.
If I remember correctly, it was signed to it was signed for a long time. Because I remember,
was it 10 years or 13 years?
It was 10 years, I want to
10
say.
years, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was, or it might have been, yeah, it was like 10 years or something like that. But listen, that's not a question that I'm going to ask. Okay. Every year we ask this man about media rights. We ask him about, like, how much money are we getting? Look, we pulled up the numbers, and it says that the SWAC has the most revenue out of all FCS schools, and it's a lot. We're not talking about chump change.
I can see that. I mean,
and you can also see the time when the jump happened. It coincides with that HBCU Go deal. We're not going to say that that's where he got the money from, but, you know, he's already made the first time and the second time. He's let folks know he's not getting ready to tell anything about contracts.
Well, ask him, can we have double headers on HBCU Go? We need more night games in the SWAC.
Double headers.
Yes,
and night
double
games.
headers. Yes, definitely. I know a lot of y'all are real young, but a Jackson State versus a Texas Southern in the vet Saturday night at 7 p.m. Black college football. Charlie Neal on the call.
Oh, yeah.
You had 50,000 people. Texas Southern fans would actually travel from Houston to Jackson to come to that game. That's what I really missed the most. I mean, about that stuff. But if you notice, what we have last year, maybe 4 night games that started at 7, maybe. I can't really recall them. But
I think, TC wants night games. That was Dion that said that he wanted day games, but TC wants night games.
Well, see, here's the thing. So with ESPN Plus, I think that was a thing where they would change because they have first dibs on all games, right?
Okay.
So they basically published what games they want, and sometimes they'll pull a game. They'll pull a game immediately and say, hey, we want this game. And we want to put it on ESPN2. So this is what time you're going to kick off because that's what time we have available. And then Jackson State had to make those adjustments versus FAMU, I want to say. If I remember it correctly, FAMU was supposed to.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be a night game and they moved it to a day game.
Right. So, you know, I feel like in terms of how many folks come out, that's not really when we're talking about advertisers and we're talking about HBCU Go, I'm not going to say that they don't care about how much attendance there is, but their main thing is viewership. Who's going to watch? Because that's how they get paid. They get paid based on how many people are watching, not how many people are at the game.
I got that. The thing is, though, Saturday night at 7:30, 8 o'clock Central Time, there's no HBCU anything on.
Right.
And we are just basically like talking to each other about the games, which is not wrong with it. But right. I would love, I think Alcorn and Alabama State had a night game in Mobile. And
they did.
I forgot who streamed it, but the attendance was horrible. But I remember live streaming that game, and I had a nice little crowd up in there. But that was one of the few night games that we had because, you know, Saturday night is my bingo night because I'm like, damn, it ain't nothing to do past 8 o'clock, so I'm going to play bingo. So I would just, if not so much ask about contracts, but I would ask, can we get more night games or any night game schedule, especially with this heat? I'm talking August and September. You know, in the deep South, we still gonna be 95, 100 degrees at game time, especially if you're playing in Mississippi or Louisiana or Alabama. So
Yeah. Don't forget, we got global warming. It's 90 degrees in November.
in November, that's
We got
right.
global warming.
Yeah, I would love to see more night games. I mean,
Yeah, I would too. That's what I grew up on, night games.
yes, and I mean a doubleheader. I mean, and with the grill, I'm gonna reach back out to them and be like, hey, give us a triple header. You got the grill, you got HBCU Go. Put more than one 2 game on there. And no disrespect to the MEAC, but I'm not gonna sit there and watch. I'm not gonna call them names, but I'm not gonna watch these little pansy ass schools play and bore me to death at 11 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it. I fall asleep watching some of that stuff. Morgan State, I call y'all name out, but anyway. But we need to get, in just my opinion, got to get better advertising. I've seen Southern, mentally we here. They have a commercial saying mentally we here. That commercial is 100 times better than the game that they got for going to the MEAC Challenge. And I'm like, you got all these journalism students that would love to put this film together for y'all, just to have their name on there. And do those commercials a lot better. I like, give us something that folks want to see on the internet. And my thing to Prairie View, my goodness, Prairie View, I have put Prairie View as #1 King Delulu of the SWAC right now. They have surpassed Southern fans and FAMU fans. I have never seen this many. I got into I think it was a 2-day conversation with a Prairie View fan. This man is sitting there telling me that only game they're going to lose, I think they played Cal or somebody. They're going to lose that game and everybody else is going to get ran out the field. And I'm like, what world do you live in? I said, can you name your starting quarterback? Couldn't name the starting quarterback. I said, okay. I said, your offensive line is pretty much, and defensive line pretty much set. I've seen them on enough little things with who they are. I said, who do you have in your skill positions? They don't know none of that stuff, but they are Delulu. And I cannot wait till this season start because I'm putting my money on Texas Southern to upset them. Maybe I'm wrong, and I told them I'll take that L. I say before y'all only losing one game, and that's the game y'all play against a Power 5 school, and y'all just gonna run through the SWAC. And I'm like, I don't see the SWAC West as a dominant team over there. That's a crazy conference over there. You know, for the last year was the first time in probably about 4 seasons that the SWAC West champion was determined before the last week of SWAC West play. Because remember, the last few years, everybody had to wait for this person to lose or that person to win or this team to do this and that, and then you decided the champion. Last year, Southern, bland as Southern is on offense, actually ran through the SWAC West. But they said, the guy told me, he said he promised me it's going to be a horrible homecoming for Southern. I said, good luck, man. So.
Dang. Well, yeah. That's why 2025 SWAC Media Day is coming right around the corner next Wednesday. So I'm doing, I guess we're going to do in groups of 4, which I'm going to start with none other than the 2024 HBCU National Champs, 2024 SWAC Champions. We have head coach TC Taylor coming in here. We're going to start with the coaches and then move to the players probably maybe Saturday, maybe Tuesday. This is Coach TC's 3rd year. He was 7-4 his first year, 12-2 his second year. What do you guys think his overall record's going to be this year?
Same.
Who are they going to lose to? USM and who else?
It'll be one more upset. I haven't really said which team will, but it'll be I say the same 12-2. To be on the safe side.
Be on the safe side. You can't really lose to you can't really lose to one more person.
That's to be on the safe side.
I mean, what do you who is the person? Who is the team?
It can be, look, it can be the night game at FAM. It can be a throw-off game at Alabama A&M. you gotta. The reason why I'm saying the same record is, I think Alabama A&M is gonna surprise more people. I think that Coach Sam Shields, number one, I know he's a better coach. It's just that he won't have all of the talent that he needs to actually pull off a SWAC East championship. I'm not saying that, but they can come in and sneak a game on somebody. That's all I'm saying. I don't see Jackson State losing.
So there's only 11. I want to say there's only 11 games this year. Regular season. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there's only 11 games this year to start off. And it's Sam Shea, Coach Shea.
I call it, man. I'm just saying Coach Sam from now on, because I'm thinking of Shields, the other one.
There is no coach. Who's Coach Shields?
It's probably one in there somewhere. Well, you got somebody say y'all going 7-4. Now what about that?
He's from PVAMU. Mr. Ford.
Yes.
What do you think Jackson State's gonna do? We have 11 regular season. What is our? So it's what, 10-1?
Well, I've said it before. If y'all beat a Southern Miss, everybody's ass is grass. That's the only thing is that Southern Miss game. I'm waiting for that. But I just see them as I don't think nobody can be. I don't think anybody. I've said it. I say it all the time. It's Jackson State and everybody else.
Well, there you go. So he's Mr. Ford got 10-1/11-0.
Yeah.
And you said that so you think they're going to go 9-2 for the regular season, and that would be 11-2 overall, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't, like I said, I don't see them losing the East, and I don't see them losing the SWAC, but the record would be the same. I mean, hell, I really hope Jackson State beats USM. I really do. I mean, I just don't. Well, the coach at USM, only thing about that guy, he brought his offensive line with him, and a lot of defense. He brought a lot.
He brought the team with him.
Yeah,
he brought his team. He brought his quarterback. He brought everybody.
Yeah, so it's going to be a hard fought game, but it's when a coach comes like that with all of that, and those guys and Marshall, they was playing damn good football.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a hell of a game, but I really hope Jackson State wins that game. I really do.
They won the Sun Belt, didn't they?
Yeah, they won the Sun Belt.
Yeah, they won.
It'll be competitive. He bought the whole team. Marshall South.
Yeah.
Fresh green grass ass, Mr. Ford. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Coach TC and his elevation to the team as a whole. Like, what are the things that stand out? And so one of the biggest things that I can say that Jackson State stands out, and that's the coaching and his staff, how he built that staff. And then even when you have coaches that exit, he's able to plug and play. I think one of the biggest telltale signs for that is, of course, none other than that defensive coordinator change. That was just
without a doubt. Yeah,
that was a game changer.
Yes, it was. And don't forget that offensive line hire. That guy from the Broncos.
My thing is, if you win the SWAC again, like you predicted to win the SWAC, how many of your coaches are gonna stay?
Coaches don't stay when you win. When you win, you get other opportunities.
Exactly. That's the only thing about Jackson State, and I've been warning them about this since last year, last season.
Well, I asked him last year. I said, one of those things is about. He said, we got a good group of guys, and we want to keep them. I think I asked that at the Celebration Bowl too, and then he did end up having the what was it, the defensive line, Coach Callie James from the Tuskegee graduate.
Yeah, came from Florida.
He was at Florida.
Yeah.
He left, but one thing that I'll say that he does is Coach TC, he kind of like elevates coaching staff from within. So that way they already know the scheme. They know how he likes to run his program. So the only thing that you're doing now is you're going to tweak whether it's the defensive scheme, the linebackers, you're basically just tweaking it to your fit. And so for me, I think that biggest testament for this year is it's going to have to be dominance again, right? You have to be dominant. You have to leave no doubt because everybody is going to be coming for you as if you were the Super Bowl. Who was saying Coach TC's leaving? Going where?
Well, I mean, trust me. If he wins again, it's gonna be 11 SWAC schools saying, "Yeah, TC leaving. Yeah, TC gone." I trust me. I do not want Coach TC to leave. No, we need, in my opinion, we need a SWAC coach that can get 10 to 11 victories every year for at least the next 4 or 5 years, because the recruits are starting to come back, coming back to the SWAC. I ain't talking about transfer people either, because that transfer. I watched Big 12 Media Day today. Some of them schools transfer portal is just nuts now. You got on some teams 20 to 25 new players coming in. Most of them got maybe a year left, a few grad students, some got 2 years left. And one of the coaches admitted, I forgot his name, but he said he don't know if those people, the people that he got from the portal, they'll be back next year. So that I'm talking about, you got what I like to see Coach TC doing, Southern's doing also. They're recruiting not only within their state, but they're getting players that normally would not look at the SWAC to come there. But look at the size of these young men coming in. Now it's all about getting them in there to get their mind focused and getting them on that field to get them in game shape. I've been looking at Texas Southern. I looked at Southern today, and I looked at Prairie View. It's some big boys in the SWAC now. It's some fast big boys in the SWAC also. And out their pads, them dudes are big. So with them pads on, I think we in a couple of years, we're gonna be back where we normally were. But I don't need TC Taylor to leave. No.
Yeah, Mr. Ford said it. He said this is basically the renaissance of HBCU football.
Mm-hmm.
The Mr. Ford, you did say that folks are gonna have to elevate.
Yeah, we're right now we're trying to get back into the 80s where we were in the 80s. We're not in the 70s. Because if we were in the 70s, every SWAC team would have at least 6 pro prospects. We're in the mid to late 80s. That's where we are right now.
Yes.
Because in the 70s, I remember the SWAC in the 70s. That's when every team, like I said, had 4 to 5 players that were NFL bound. That was the SWAC in the 70s.
Yes. And definitely going into the 80s, man. Oof. It was, man, those games between Jackson State and Southern in the 80s, man, it was some players that left out both of them schools, man, in the pros, man, that folks don't really know about them, but they were there and they played. So
yeah. And it can get better. It can get better.
So my only thing is this, which is because I know Oren and Mr. Ford highlighted, if it's an undefeated season, if they win the Celebration Bowl, that there's going to be some SWAC schools that are calling for some of the coaches on Jackson State staff. And to that, I would say that, there are a lot of people who are asking, and it's not impossible, but they're asking for things from some of these programs, and the support is not there behind the scenes. So you guys are asking for these coaches to basically perform a miracle. They don't have the budget that Jackson State has. They don't have the NIL that Jackson State has. Some of these folks just got scholarships for their teams.
Mhm.
So, or they're coming from situations where the athletic department, they just don't have the funds to do some of the things that a Jackson State has. So when you talk about some of these schools just coming and taking some of these coaches off of Jackson State's hands and saying, hey, you can be a head coach, there's some things that come with that, right? Yes, a lot of people do want to be a head coach, but you don't want to be put in a position where the fans don't have a collective, the support's not there. You might not have everything that you need to be successful. You don't have a training table. Like, you can't expect for some of these coaches to win the SWAC and they are not playing with a full deck.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. The SWAC also, you got to remember this TC's third year, right? What was it? Last year, the SWAC had what, 5 or 6 first-year head coaches? Like, they hiring and firing in the SWAC, but their goal is to chase y'all, Jackson State. That's their goal. You got teams, people I talk to, it's not even about them winning the SWAC. They want to beat Jackson State, and that is what they are aiming for. So, I especially Alabama State fans, they got one game circle, and that's Jackson State. I believe y'all playing them at homecoming. I mean, they're going to y'all for homecoming. That is their Super Bowl.
They already beat us in basketball. Dang.
But you listen, you got
that
teams.
Hurt my heart, boy. I was so damn mad.
You got teams that really just want to beat Jackson State. They are scared of FAMU. Oh no, we can't beat FAMU. But yeah, Jackson State, yeah, we can beat them. I'm like, do you realize that FAMU has only beat Jackson State once in 4 years? So you going against a team that owns FAMU since they've been in the SWAC, but you really want to beat Jackson State? And then you ask them why. It's because it's just Jackson State. So your team has the swag. But I'm looking forward to a season where I'm not going to say anything is possible, but I'm looking for way more competitive games. I'm not talking about beating up on UAPB and Valley and thinking you won the SWAC West. No, I'm not looking at that. I think the State Fair Classic between Grambling and PV is going to be way more entertaining this year than it's ever been. Because trust me, Grambling people, they hear this noise. Like, Grambling fumbled the bag last year. We must admit that. The game before Jackson State, Grambling had what? 10 turnovers. After the 9 turnovers. After the Jackson State game, they actually had like 14 turnovers. They was leading the nation. And then after that game, they will admit that they thought that they had the SWAC wrapped up. And the following week, Alcorn came in the hole and beat them, and their season just went down the crap. So I don't expect that type of Grambling again. That's just my opinion. I think Grambling has a lot to prove with Coach Mickey, and because if he don't, Grambling want to go get rid of him. Mr. Ford, your people, they crazy about getting rid of this guy. They don't like him for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go above him, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we need a change at the AD spot too.
And Grambling? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I have to go to SWAC Media Day in less than a week, and you over here. Come on.
I mean, listen, we have to be transparent. We have to call it
SWAC Media Day. Let's be transparent.
Yeah, we have to be transparent. We have to call it like we see it. And Grambling needs a change at the top of the food chain for the athletic department, which means they need a change at. And I tell people all the time, I really think that Southern. I'm not impressed with AD Banks, with Roman Banks. He destroyed that football program when he had Dawson Odoms. Dawson had that program right. He destroyed it, and he can't build it back. And I think that they can do better they can get a better AD at Grambling and Southern. I told you before, last year's Bayou Classic was one of the worst Bayou Classics I've watched in years. It was awful.
Listen,
I don't think
you cannot fire a coach because he goes 6-5 or 5-7, and
Well, that depends on your. Listen, wait a minute. Don't you remember? Coach Comagese played for the SWAC championship in Houston, Texas, and that Tuesday they fired him. You forgotten that?
I'm just saying, we're talking about right now. There's way too much upheaval. There's way too much like chaos that's going on. Just because your team didn't win.
What I'm saying is, when you have a high bar,
yes,
then some people are going to be eliminated. Okay,
right, but
you know how? Let me tell you something. You know how they take gold and they put that fire to it, and they take them impurities out of it. That's the same thing with coaching. See, when your program is saying we want a championship and you can't give them a championship, you got to go.
I know, but you guys are asking.
You got to go.
You guys are asking for a championship, but you're not. The fans are not donating championship collectives.
See, that's an excuse. That's an excuse.
Not an excuse, Mr.
That's an excuse. Listen, let me tell you something. Now that'll fly maybe at Pine Bluff and them kind of schools. Let me tell you something. Jackson, they don't want to hear no excuses. Let me tell you this. Southern don't want to hear no excuses. Grambling don't want to hear no excuses. Florida A&M, they don't want to hear no excuses. North Carolina A&T, they don't want to hear no excuses. They want a championship. Okay? And so what I'm telling you is, when these schools set that bar, you got to reach that bar or go beyond that bar. You can't be under the bar.
Okay, so that's the thing. Like, you guys are asking for schools to reach bars, but
it's a standard. That's why you give them, say, listen, let me just say this to you. And you always bring it up about Southern, because I know a million up here in Atlanta. You always bring this up about Southern won the West. Let me tell you something. You think these people here in Atlanta that's from Southern University are happy with that? They not, because I talked to them. Do you think they happy with what Terrence them did last year? No, they not, because I talked to them. They not.
Wait.
It don't meet their bar.
It doesn't meet their bar, but in order for you to compete with the winners, with the champions, your program has to have that level of support, and it doesn't. So you're saying, hey, if you don't win the championship, we're going to fire you. But you're not giving those coaches the tools that they need to meet that bar. You can't tell somebody.
Wait a minute. Mr. Moan, I want you to listen to me carefully. Mr. Moan, listen to me. Listen to me. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay.
Let me finish. You have Grambling, who they fired Hugh Jackson, and they brought in Mickey Joseph. You have Southern, who they fired Dooley, and then they tried to bring in somebody else, but their price was too high and they didn't have enough money, so they went ahead and got Terrence Graves. You guys are asking for these programs to beat the likes of Jackson State, but are you setting up your coaches to be successful? And folks keep on saying they don't need all that. You, in this day and age, you need a training table, you need a collective, or you need an athletic fund to get NIL to keep your star players at the school. You need that nutrition. You need proper facilities. Like, these are the main things that you need.
Well, according
okay, well, let me say this. Long before Hugh Jackson was born, Grambling was a big-time winner and had one of the best-known coaches in America, white or black. Okay, those people have an addiction at Grambling to championships, to winning. Southern University has been winning since the 30s and probably before that. You got to remember, they had a guy named Arnett Mumford. Okay, Mumford won back in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and even to the early 60s. Okay, there are people and in Baton Rouge who remember him, who went to the games when he was playing. They don't want anything except the kind of excellence that Arnett Mumford brought. Okay, for me, I'm old enough to remember Jake Gaither. And I'm going to tell you now, there are people down there in Tallahassee that knew him. They saw his teams. They know what championship football is all about. They know, and let me tell you something, they don't care nothing about no training table. They don't want to hear nothing about we ain't got no whirlpool. To them, that's an excuse. They want winning and they want championships because that's what they've been used to the last 50 to 60 years. Okay? So I'm going to say it again. And I told you this. Yeah, Southern won the West last year. I went and talked to them people from Southern that's up here. They wasn't impressed because you know what they want? They want the SWAC and they want a Celebration Bowl win. That's what they want. That's what they told me.
Well, tell them to put up or shut up. Tell them put up or shut up.
Oh no. If the bar can't be met, it's gonna be a change. It's gonna be a change.
Where's the money at?
I'm gonna say
Mr. Ford, they
this.
just had the opportunity to have a change, and they didn't pull together no money to get
Listen,
a decent
Southern spends the second highest amount of money on athletics of any. The only school in Black college athletics that spends more money than Southern University is Prairie View.
Yeah.
Southern is number 2.
They won in how many years?
Prairie View
Since 2013, wasn't it? The last, wasn't it 2013?
Prairie View was 2009.
Well, Southern ain't won since 20. Southern beat Jackson State in Houston, Texas for the SWAC championship. That was Dawson Odoms.
Yes. But the thing is, like you said, Southern, now, I thought Crook was telling me some crazy stuff, but it was all athletic combined. Southern had posted a revenue of $18 million of all athletics combined. Crook was telling the truth about that. Now, for what they do with that money, I don't know. All I know is Southern, their football attendance has, for the last 3 to 4 years, have steadily climbed. Southern is actually getting sold out home games a lot more than what's being shown. But when they're on TV, they played against, I think it was Savannah State. Come on, man. Really? They shouldn't have never put that game on TV. But then the games that they were selling out on, Southern has their own media channel. You got to pay, I think it's like Jackson State has theirs. Before it's the ESPN Plus and all these other things, you have to pay $19 or $20. I used to pay it all the time and watch those games. So a lot of stuff Southern wasn't showing. So they actually got some good money. I just think that Southern, and Mr. Ford knows this also, he says all the time, they have to change that offense up. They have to change that offense.
They need an offense coordinator.
Yes, they got to change that offense.
They don't have an offense coordinator. You cannot win big in the SWAC without an offense coordinator. They got the defensive people. They got some defensive. They do not have an offense coordinator.
Yes, and until they change that offense up, I mean, it's gonna be rough for Southern.
I'm telling you,
it's gonna be
and
rough.
Listen, the Southern people know it.
Yeah, because
I'm telling you, I talked to them. The ones up here, they know.
Yeah, I mean, the Boombox Classic is going to be the blowout classic. If you
and that's what it's been lately, the blowout classic.
Yeah, you got it. And I told him, I'm like, when you playing a team against Jackson State that can actually stop you running with a 5-2 defensive line, bruh. I mean, a 4-2 defensive line. I'm like, bruh, you got to do something different. You up the middle punt, or up the middle. Throw one to the flat and hope, or the quarterback scramble. I'm like, bro, that's kind of like very elementary-ish with they play calling. So they got to change something. And trust me, there are some young offensive coordinators out there that you don't have to pay millions of dollars. And that's not going to get paid more than the head coach that can go out there. And I think Graves, in my opinion, he's afraid to relinquish it. But is it a setup? Mr. Ford, do you see Coach McNair becoming the offensive coordinator at Southern?
Well, if it doesn't start out right, if they lose that North Carolina Central game, lose the Alabama State game, and then mess up that homecoming game, yeah. They're gonna see, let me tell you this, and this is something that's missing about Southern right now. There have been Southern presidents that would have told him to make a change. When Marino Cassim was there as an athletic director, he would have told him to make a change. Okay. But like I said, it doesn't start with just the head football coach. I don't believe that Roman Banks can be the architect of a top-notch athletic program at Southern. I don't believe it. He hasn't shown me that. Okay. And listen, I can remember when Dr. Belton was there. Listen, Prairie View came into Southern, beat them on the homecoming. This was Willie Simmons. Dr. Belton called them in and made Dawson Odoms give up the DC job. That's why they brought Trey Oliver. And they don't have that right now. Like I'm telling you, I think that the problem is not just with the program, with the football program, it's the AD position too.
Mr.
They got a problem with Banks.
Southern literally won, I want to say, SWAC championships in basketball regular season on both the men and women's side, and they won.
Yeah, but we talk about football, baby. The pride and joy of Southern athletics is that football program. That's the pride and joy. All that other stuff is just icing on the cake.
Here's the thing, and this is
the
something
pride and joy is the football program.
This should have been obvious, which is that if you don't fix the fan base, don't fix the NIL collective, you're going to get the same results. Meaning, for Gramblin's instance, you had Hugh Jackson and then you had Coach Mickey. And those problems don't just go away just because you switch coaches. Like, the fans or the school has to invest into the athletic program. It's not just going to...
Mr. Mona, I told you over and over, when you lose the Bayou Classics the way that Hugh Jackson lost them, he was leading in both of them, and then he turns around and I knew they were going to fire him.
Yeah.
They don't play that at Grambling.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to fire him.
I feel bad for Hugh because Hugh was trying to build, but if you cannot win in that Bayou Classic in the fashion that he lost.
Yeah.
That was, I said, Graham family is not happy. I said, this is not the Grambling in the Bayou Classic.
So if Grambling loses again in the Bayou Classic, then what?
I'm going to say it again to you.
He's in trouble.
Listen, not only is, like y'all saying that Coach Jackson is trouble, I'm telling you that they're going to start looking at that AD position. From what I've been hearing, they're already looking at that. Brother Scott is on the hot seat. Whether you want to accept it or not, he is. He's on the hot seat. And if he doesn't know that he on the clock, too bad.
You ask Jackson State, you ask your athletic director, when is he going to be the SWAC commissioner? That's a question. I'm just saying. He is athletic director. There's a lot of people that are talking about it. You remember, was it last year or the year before last, Prairie View had wrote up a damn article saying that they had, because he went to Prairie View, oh, he's coming back and this, that, and the third. And the man was on vacation, didn't even have the internet on. So he's a hot AD right now.
Oh, without a doubt. Not just in black college sports, but all over the country.
Yes,
this guy's regarded as one of the top ADs in the country.
He's a hot one. So
yeah, I call him Boy Wonder because everything he touched turned to gold.
Yeah, that's another thing. And trust me, it's some people. I'm not saying in HBCU land. I'm talking PWI. They will put him somewhere with the right amount of money. I'm telling you that he's that good. And it's a good thing, especially for Jackson State, but it's a better thing for the SWAC conference as a whole. Because now wherever you go, you hear about this man and what he's able to do at Jackson State. And I'm like, hey, I'm waiting on everybody else AD to get on board. And now we know it's all hate, because when they are coaching, they do on Monday, I think it's Monday morning, they do the coaching thing and stuff. I can see the little hatred they got for each other, man. Kind of like they ready to whoop Jackson State ass, but they can't do it. But why you think everybody's going out now getting big offensive linemen? They trying to match up against Jackson State. And Grambling and Southern, well, Southern has did it. Grambling, you're a little bit behind the power curve, but Southern has it. But it's like I say again, if you run in the same elementary offense, you ain't gonna get nowhere. So now I'm very interested to see if y'all AD stays. Not because he want to go, but somebody gonna offer that man something that he can't refuse.
And I just, I hope that a lot of people just take into consideration. I mean, you could just see it on a couple of these people who have left to go to different jobs or whatnot, that whether or not it really worked out for them.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, the grass ain't always green on the other side. Trust me.
Sometimes when things are like sustainable, you don't just leave to go see if you can go water some more grass over somewhere else because they pay a little bit more. Let me go over here and see what this is talking about. No. Like, just because somebody gives you an extra 50,000 to 100,000 doesn't mean, and you're thinking, I would have to, really deep dive into those programs, especially for the group of 5 programs, because in the grand scheme of things, they are gasping for air themselves, especially with how the playoff system has really kind of like tuned them out, right? They're really getting almost eliminated in a sense of they don't have anything carved out for them, specifically for them, for the postseason. The same way with the FCS playoffs. Like, folks will be like, oh, you need a strength of schedule and you guys need to compete in the FCS playoffs. But there's been so many different articles from those people, and they're just like, something's got to give. We have to do something different. This isn't the way to go. We're not making any money. Viewership is not that good, or the schools are complaining. Like,
there's no way I would go to an FCF playoffs. It's not worth it. I watch that stuff. Not only is it like watching paint dry, but they're so spread out. And if you notice, they moved the FCS championship game where? Further down south. They used to have that thing where in Montana, North Dakota, and what was it in Tennessee last year, right? And then they found a stadium that wasn't, I don't even think it was 30,000. The stadium didn't hold 30,000. And they basically had to give those tickets away, literally had to give these tickets away to get that stadium to be full because, yes, they are jealous of the Celebration Bowl. A lot of FCS programs want that Celebration Bowl type atmosphere. And I'm like, bro, that wasn't even the largest crowd there. But I know what they're trying to do, but it's not going to work, in my opinion only. Who the hell wants to go to Montana and North Dakota to play a damn football game?
And a lot of people are kind of misconstruing the job of a SWAC commissioner versus the job of an AD. Like,
Ashley Robinson
saying that
he can be that.
Right, but I mean, for what is the reasoning that they're even saying that? I don't know, like, what the reason is.
The SWAC commissioner really don't talk that much, and I
don't need to talk that much. The bank is talking, the revenue is talking, the 20 million in revenue.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Talking versus the huge gap between the SWAC and everybody else in all of FCS. That's what talks to me. He don't have to say too much.
Yeah, trust me. My only thing is if he had, I don't think he had anything to do with the deal. But I've said this since I've read about it, and I told folks the Alabama A&M, the Alabama State game, the Amazon giving the winner 1.5 million. That's bullshit. That's wrong. Amazon makes $1 million in probably 30 seconds. And I got it. The sponsorship, they needed one or they wanted to go something bigger. I got all that. But to give that winner 1.5, and if you ever been to that game, Alabama State versus Alabama A&M, that is way better than any damn type of PW5 game.
Well, you do know that some of these classics and stuff like that, those are not negotiated by the commissioner.
That's why I said I don't. That's why I said I don't think. Yeah,
that's not a game that's negotiated by the commissioner. Yeah. That's done through Alabama A&M and Alabama State's ADs and the promoters.
That's
So
why I say,
while
that's
oh,
why I
okay.
say
Yeah.
I
Matter of
don't think
fact,
you
I
heard
want to say most of these games are negotiated through the AD and the promoter. They did come out and say that the Grambling game that they're having in Las Vegas, that particular game is tied in with the SWAC in some type of way. So that one's different, meaning that there was some negotiations done with the SWAC involved in that one. But other than that, these other bowl games are not involved. The SWAC commissioner is not necessarily in those rooms helping negotiate what that breakdown is. And I want to say that Alabama State and Alabama A&M has like, sometimes they have like over 60,000 people there. There is no
69,000 last year.
There is no way that they shouldn't both be clearing 750,000. Well, $1 million apiece, I would think. $1 million.
Yeah, at least $1 million apiece. At least $1 million.
And the reason why you need that $1 million apiece is so that you can reduce these money games. Use your classics as a money game. Get the revenue.
You got 300,000 people come to Birmingham for that game.
You drop off 20 million in the city.
Yeah. So listen, they lowballing them with 1 million. Because I just told you.
I would tell them 1 million apiece in the clear. You guys handle our expenses and an additional 250,000 per school for scholarships. And folks are saying, well, that's the city's money. That's the city's money, or that's how much revenue that city can come up with. 250,000 in kind, meaning maybe they don't have to pay for their hotels, or maybe the transportation is free, or if they can find it. It's not like
Georgia and Florida are going to play up here at the Dome in 2026. The Atlanta Sports Bureau is going to give them $7 million apiece. So they lowballing them.
Yeah,
this 1 million.
1.5. Yeah,
they lowballing them.
I was like, because I was telling folks, I'm like, I went to that game from 2012 to 2015, and I said the average when those years I was there, it was over like 62,000 people. The tailgating itself, I guarantee you there was at least a good 50,000 people out tailgating that didn't even go in the stadium. It's so that is one of those classics where you have enough room in around that stadium right next to the projects, but that it's enough area in there where you can put so many people up in there. Everybody in that city gets to eat except the winning football team or both football teams. I'm like, this is not enough for this type of, you don't trust me. Alabama A&M can't even put 2,000 people in their stands on a regular home game. Y'all seen it. Y'all know I'm not exaggerating. But they go down to Birmingham and Alabama State the same way. The only way they sell out is they play Jackson State. And they don't even sell out for FAMU. But
their FAM is their biggest game. They had 33,000 for FAM. Was it last year? They had 33,000.
Yeah. So that game in Birmingham, to me, I'm like, bro, this just, I know Amazon just had to be smiling and laughing. LSU traveled 1.5 hours from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, Labor Day Classic. They got $4 million. I said, for traveling an hour, playing against Florida State, $4 million. I'm like, to go an hour down the road, and trust me, I don't know who it had to be. It was either the SEC or the ACC that came together, but the amount of money that school had made, I'm like, $4 million for this. So I think we're getting lowballed on certain games, and I'm still confused on the Bayou Classic. And Mr. Ford, maybe you might know, how is Southern and Grambling only getting $750,000 for the Bayou Classic?
You got me on that one.
That's what from last year. That's what they reported. Either somebody putting some money in their pocket, Because you know how the Bayou Classic is. That
Right.
thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
you know, that thing is the day after Thanksgiving. That Friday, you got the parade, you got the pageant, then you got the cadets running the football game in there. You got the band, Battle of the Bands. You got the Greek show. It's a lot of millions being dropped in New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. When I seen 750,000, I said this got to be a misprint, but that's what they saying. So I mean, that's what was reported, I should say. I'm like, there's no way that they only gave these schools 750,000 for a whole weekend. I mean, it's everything down there for the classic. So I really think if the SWAC commissioner's not into it, he might want to get into it. And I'm pretty sure the ADs may be upset. But if we getting, if the SWAC getting this $20 million, I know you can go down there and tell some folks, hey, look, we need to get these need to be more. Mm-hmm. And I'm a firm believer in Jackson State and Alcorn. Hey, there's nothing wrong with going to Lorman, but if you play in Jackson State, you don't need to play them in Lorman. That is a nightmare. It takes you 3.5 hours to get out of goddamn it Alcorn after a Jackson State game.
They do not want to give up their game. They want you to be on the reservation, and they want to lay in the grass.
My country cousins from Lorman, do something different. Make another road.
They do not want to give up their game.
That is crazy. I told them I refuse to go. It's since 2025. I have not been to a Jackson State Alcorn game in Lorman probably since 2010 or 9 or somewhere like that. I will not go back there. No.
Listen, Florida A&M and Alabama State played last year. It was October the 5th, 2024. The attendance was 33,576.
Mm-hmm. See,
that was their homecoming.
See, that's another game that. See, I'm telling you, gotta get. I just want more revenue. I mean, and that game there, you cannot.
Dre said they was making 5,000 in Jackson. Something had to change.
Who's only making 5,000? Who the parking lot attendants? The jokers that scam you for man. Jackson folks try to sell you a program, a damn bottle of Hennessy, a ticket, and a parking spot with a T-shirt for $30. Man, if y'all don't get them some hustlers over there, man. Over by Jackson Murrah, yeah. Y'all got some scammers over there, man. That's who he must have made talk about them 5,000. No,
the promoter was robbing both schools. So, and that's the AD. Where the hell is the AD? You're saying you want more revenue. Alcorn was making $5,000. I'm not exaggerating.
$5,000. Y'all, come on, man. What in parking fees? Come on.
Who was the AD during that time? Because what? That's what I'm saying. They got these janky ass promoters. Have you ever seen the movie Janky Promoters?
Janky Promoters, yeah. That was with Mike Epps, right?
We need a Janky Promoters HBCU edition.
Well, you can start with the Southern Heritage Classic. He was the most jankiest one. That man, that has to be the richest promoter in HBCU history ever. Because the Southern Heritage Classic.
You know what's crazy is that Jackson State. Okay, so after Dion told everybody, like, "Hey, we're making gas money," and folks was like, "Dion's right. Let's pull out." Right? There are schools who do not care that it was revealed that you're not even making enough money for to get gas. They didn't care. They just wanted to be a part of that particular classic. They don't care that the numbers aren't right. Tennessee State was like arguing us down when Dion pulled out. They were so mad, only to have to pull out their damn selves because they weren't making any money. Y'all could have saved yourselves some time and money if you would have pulled out 2 years earlier.
So you got what Alcorn playing in that classic this year, right?
I want to say
I think so.
Alcorn
versus who?
Is it Pine Bluff?
I think it's UAPB if I'm not mistaken.
But that's what I'm saying, Mr. Ford. They keep on going to this dead end classic that they're not making any money in. And I don't know if the calling card is, well, we just want our boys to experience playing in that stadium, but they're not making any money. So what, like, at what point do you say, hey, Jackson State was right, we're not making any money, and all of the HBCUs refuse to participate?
Is it the same promoter that's been there for 20 years or more?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that dude. He. Hey,
and it's already been revealed that he doesn't pay, and these schools don't care. They still do it. So Tennessee State ended up having to pull out, I want to say, or did they decide to come back?
No, they pulled out.
Because they weren't making any money, but you guys weren't making any money 2 years ago when Jackson State said that they weren't making any money. So why would you continue to do it? And you guys are really in dire straits. Mr. Ford, I want to say that their generated revenue in the OVC is like $4 million.
Wow.
I can believe it.
Like, I would have to, wouldn't you say that that would be grounds to sue to get out of the OVC?
Yeah, but those people at Tennessee State are slow learners. It's been 35 years and they hadn't learned yet.
Like, wouldn't you be able to sue the OVC and not have to pay a fee because you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to as the conference? You're supposed to be generating revenues to support the schools in your conference, and you can't even do that. So why are we in a conference that is not generating any revenue for all of the schools?
I've just told you they're slow learners.
$4 million.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Drake. Tell me.
They suffer from Stockholm syndrome. They want to be with them hillbillies. That's what's wrong with them. Because they've been in the OVC since the 80s and haven't made any money from it. They've lost their Tennessee State don't have no fans. That's why they kicked them out of the Atlanta Classic. They don't have no fans. FAMU's selling all the tickets.
Wait, I say this, and I know this is not popular. Tennessee State and South Carolina State join the SWAC. I really hope so. That's what I want. Tennessee State, you go play in the West. South Carolina, you're in the East. And I know the East would be a little bit more heavy-handed because you would have South Carolina State, Jackson State, FAMU, and Alabama State. But I really want those two schools to be in the SWAC. That's me. Now, if we can get those two schools in there, get away with that conference stuff. I just believe South Carolina State. I think that's a good program. Don't get me wrong. Their coach is crazy, but they got a good program there. So that's just one of my wish lists. I know it's never going to happen because I don't think South Carolina State wants to leave the MEAC. I really don't believe they want to. So, but Tennessee State, I think they just like orphans. They anything they can get hot on, they'll get it. So that's just how I feel. So,
and it's just gonna get worse now with the NCAA 105 roster and all that different type of stuff. Like, it's only gonna get worse. And so for a conference to only generate $4 million in revenue, I'm surprised the OVC is still standing.
That's crazy.
All of the big teams in OVC got out. That was Jacksonville State got out. I think, let's see, what's the school down here? Kennesaw State was in it. I think they got out. It's a dying conference. That's why they combined with the Big South.
I mean, they still only made $4 million in revenue. That's why.
Listen, Tennessee State played a game last year for the championship. They played Southeast Missouri State. They had 1,500 people at the stadium.
Damn.
They had 1,500. They only had 8,000 at their homecoming.
At Tennessee State?
Tennessee State.
8,000.
They had 8,000. Let me check it right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
The game that they played Southeast Missouri to give them the OVC championship, they had 1,500 fans at the game.
That's something, man. Boy, times have changed, ain't they? Because, man, I remember them road trips to Tennessee State, man.
I do too.
Man,
I do too.
I think we just got spoiled, especially from the 70s to the 90s. I think we were just spoiled. And then after the 90s.
Well, Tennessee State got hit with a lawsuit that was called the Weissman decision, which basically they were told that they were no longer a HBCU.
Which school?
It was a Weissman decision. It was Tennessee State.
Yeah.
There was a Weissman decision that hit them in the mid to early 80s. Yeah. And they were basically told that they were no longer HBCU.
Wow. That's crazy, man. And all the greats that came through there, my goodness.
And what was the reason for that? So that they didn't have to pay them?
Well, yeah. And what they did was they gutted the school, but they allowed it. They supposedly, it was two schools. It was the University of Tennessee at Nashville, which was downtown. Then you had the historically black school, Tennessee State. They basically gutted Tennessee State, but allowed the two institutions were combined and the name remained TSU, but that Weissman decision basically gutted them.
Damn, that's wild. I never knew that. I just knew something had happened up there, and it's just, I mean, Tennessee State is going through it. I didn't think they was going to even remain open this past spring. They was trying to shut them folks down in January. You know, the governor, he fired the president, replaced him with one of his cronies. The crony said, "Hey, I can't do this." It's just that bad. They so underfunded, and they were about to shut that. I think it's $1 billion they owe. It's
about $2 billion.
It's almost $2 billion. It's like 190 million or something like that. It's just crazy to see a school like that go through that, man. Because Tennessee State, from their track and football program, man, was just awesome.
Yeah, that's a school that gave you Dick Barnett, Scott Barnett, who recently passed. Mm-hmm. They won the NAIA basketball championship 57, 58, and 59.
Yeah, 3-time champion. Yeah. That's why I was like, man, it's just crazy to hit a program like that going down so fast. I mean, well, not so fast. I mean, they trying to run them out so fast. So
Alcorn can make $900,000 by playing at home just in ticket sales alone, and when you add in parking, could be well past $1 million.
$900,000.
They will not be giving that JSU game.
900,000. Come on now. Okay. Hey, I learn something every day. Where you gonna put what? Where is $900,000 worth of anything going into Alcorn? Come on, man.
If you wait a minute, at Alcorn, if you do between 26 to about 33,000 fans paid, you're doing over $1 million in ticket sales.
That's 900,000. 30,000.
Yeah, you're doing over $1 million. Yeah.
900,000, and then they got the RV park, and them folks do be out there the night before. They don't even wash they behinds. They do a little bird bath.
Alcorn hold what at that stadium? I didn't think they had 26.
They can hold 30 because they got the grass. You can put, they got one of the land stadiums.
Okay. On the grass.
Yeah, you can put thousands in the grass.
That's not happening with me. Not if I paid my $30.
You see them on the grass getting chiggers, itching and scratching and itching.
Look, somebody said Alcorn Stadium only holds 17,000. That's
no.
Will Wallace. I don't know.
Hold on, no, that's not right.
That's Alcorn money game. The food, there's no food anywhere else, so you got to eat there on the reservation.
The last time I was at Alcorn, them people actually had a pot full of chitlins. That was it for me. I know, but that's like I said. I haven't been to that game in Alcorn. I'm not going. Like I said, the traffic. If they making $900,000, can y'all please donate 60 to 70 to get y'all another daggone road, Alcorn, please? Please. Because everybody's that's been to Alcorn when they played Jackson State, you know what I'm talking about.
How bad is the seating?
It's not the seating.
It really doesn't matter for a team, for Alcorn to be able to take home, even if it was 750,000. They don't have to leave the campus. This is in the clear. That's how much they're making. I would never give up that game. I don't have to move anybody. The kids just go from their dorm room. I would never. Why would I?
And you're right. But I'm telling you, as somebody that's coming there, number one, you got to stay in Vicksburg. So there's nothing. Unless you want
Vicksburg, they got the casino over there.
Look, unless you want to get you a hammock and put it between two of them damn trees out at Alcorn, that's the only way you're gonna stay somewhere out there. But the road, it's a one way. It's a one lane in there, one lane out of there. I'm telling you, I'd rather sit in a hurricane evacuation line before I go to a damn Alcorn Jackson State game in Longman. I'm telling you, I fell asleep. I woke up. I got out the car. I used the bathroom. I walked the damn mile, and I got back in the car, and we still hadn't moved. No, do something with that traffic, please, Alcorn. I'm begging you. Cut down some of that natural forest y'all got out there, and make another road or something. Because I'm telling y'all, ask anybody in those comments if they've been to Alcorn for a Jackson State game, and they would tell you, I'm not going again. If they do, they're crazy.
They said that there's actually 2 exits.
Oh yeah. If you okay, and ask them how long does it take you to get out them exits? It took us 3 hours. I had went through a whole case and a half of Old English 800, and I'm telling you, I was like, and they was like, man, you gonna just pee all the way? We want to stop. I said, no, you ain't. We ain't going too far. I said, I'm just be walking up and down the thing, and we ain't going too far. Walking up and down the thing, talking to people. Because that's how bad. I was told
that all you gotta do is leave at 4 in the morning, and you should be good.
Leave at 4 in the morning. So you got to spend the night between the 2 trees out there at Alcorn. No.
Okay. It says right here, Alcorn State, Spinks Castle Stadium capacity is 22,500.
Okay, 22,000 plus the RV.
Yeah.
But let's just keep it a buck. It's more than they're making more than any money game that they have to play during the season. And your kids don't got to do nothing but come from the dorm room.
Yeah, it ain't too much out there. It takes a strong person to go to Alcorn. God bless all y'all that go spend 4 years at Alcorn. I can't do it.
Yeah, they got Steve McNair and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
He had what's some guy's name? They had the legendary coach down there. You had Coach Castle,
the basketball
Coach Whitney, Rat McGowan. They've had some people down at Alcorn. When I got to Grambling now, they were the defending Black College champions. That was Isaac Holt. What's the other guy was name? Was it Richard? Richard something. He was a quarterback. Perry Qualls. They had a team down there. They've had some teams.
Trust me, Alcorn have had some talent.
Yeah, they've had some talent now.
Now, Donald Driver, I still think that from Alcorn should be in the Hall of Fame.
Donald's good. Yeah. I think Steve McNair should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, definitely. That's a no-brainer. Yeah,
it should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let me see who this next person is. Oh, head coach Eddie Robinson Jr. 7-4 in 2023, 7-5 in 2024. He had the #1 defense in the SWAC both years, I want to say. What does he do? What does he have to do this year?
I think it'll continue with the defense and the special teams. My thing is that offense. You know, when I talk to them Alabama State people, that's their biggest disappointment is you played in the NFL and you got a 7th grade offense. You didn't know, you didn't meet nobody in the league could come and run an offense down at Alabama State.
Wait a minute, not 7th grade, sir.
Yeah, 7th grade. Did you see that offense he had last year? They couldn't do number run.
Mr. Ford, all of their quarterbacks were injured.
That's what I said. It looked like they had a kid out there looked like he was from the JV. He was supposed to be a baseball player or something.
Yeah,
but,
they made it to their 5th string quarterback last year.
Yeah, and they look like it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do nothing on offense.
Yeah, it was My only thing for Coach Eddie Robinson is, does he have two stable quarterbacks that he can make it through the season with?
I know he got a kid from Georgia State. A kid from Georgia State transferred down there, was from Memphis. And then he got the Newt down there, Andrew Body.
Oh man, if that young man can stay healthy, and I know high school is different from college, but if you look at that young man's high school tapes of him, and it wasn't just running, that young man can flat out throw that football. It's just that he can't stay healthy. I wish he could stay healthy. I want to see him play a complete season. I want to see him air it out. But just look at his records: 7-4, 7-5. If Alabama State is content with that, they need to stop talking to me in my inbox. If you are happy with your coach going 7-4, 7-5, and beat Coach Maine ain't there for you to beat up on no more. But if you happen to go on 7-4, 7-5 and beating Jackson State 1 out of every 3 or 4 years, stay out my inbox, Alabama State people. Come on, man. It's been a long time since y'all won a SWAC championship in football. Also.
Yeah, that guy, was it Tavares Jackson? I think was the last time.
Mm-hmm. And he was a hell of a good quarterback to me in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, he was drafted. He drafted second round.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback. Yeah, them Alabama State fans. Then that's one school. A lot of their fans that talk to me, they got one game scheduled. Jackson State homecoming. We gonna show you.
Now, wait. The biggest game at Alabama State is that game in Birmingham.
Yeah, but that's their classic.
That's their classic now. Because you can't stay at Alabama State and don't win that.
Yeah,
he's been winning it. So
yeah, they won 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, talk to him now and ask him about that Jackson State homecoming game. Them folks are ready to come to Jackson. And I told him, I said, go up there if you want to. I said, hey, Montgomery ain't got nothing on Jackson. So, but they really want this. They want this game, and they want it bad. I don't know why. Because I'm like, y'all won last time y'all played. I guess last year, because that game, I don't know the ratings of that game, but I know that had to be one of the most watched SWAC football games. Alabama State versus Jackson State down there in Montgomery. I mean, that had to be one of the most watched games because it was a battle of the defenses. Because like Alabama State was giving up 10 points and Jackson State was only giving up 7 points. And it came down to like the fourth quarter, couple of plays, and Jackson State was able to win that game. And I think they thinking like if they had a quarterback, they could have won. I don't think you was gonna be able to do that against Jackson State defense. But now new year, new team, we'll see though. But I just want to know he got 2 stable, good quarterbacks to make it through the season. That's what I want. And how it's the defense, and I know Ed Rouse is the defensive mind. How's the defense gonna cope with the new coordinator? I mean, are they adjusting to him or?
Houston has really good special teams too.
Yeah,
his special teams are good. It's just the offense is just terrible.
So,
it's terrible.
The offense needs work. They did get a new offensive coordinator. So
who did they get now?
They got a new offensive coordinator last year.
Yeah, that guy was from North Carolina A&T. Yeah, I know him.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm hoping that they built a decent quarterback room. The question is, there were some defensive coaches that left the program, but he's been number 1 in defense over the past 2 years. What has he done to make sure that there's some continuity in terms of remaining dominant on the defensive side? And then offensively, have you brought in some formidable quarterbacks for that quarterback room?
Like I said, I know he got a guy from Georgia State. The kid was from Memphis. I don't know too much about him. And I know he got
how many quarterbacks you said they need? About 4 or 5?
Yeah, at least, because I'm telling you, baby,
3 starters.
The grind of a season, you might lose 2 now. I've seen teams lose more than that.
I mean, and for the Alabama State, I was at that game in Miami. They lost both of their quarterbacks in the first game of the season.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let me see who I got next. Oh, Coach Cozy. Coach Cozy had a decent year. He was 7-5. What do you think about his
No,
season?
that's underperforming in Tallahassee, baby. There ain't no decent year for
Seven and
Tallahassee.
five for a first year
No,
head
baby.
coach.
Don't you believe that? Don't you believe that?
I
I thought
agree.
7-5 don't roll in Tallahassee now. No, baby. Them
Coach
people
really
is
didn't
about
even
that celebration bowl in Tallahassee. I'm
Coach really
telling you now,
didn't even have
7-5 ain't gonna work in Tallahassee.
Mr.
Let me tell you
Ford.
something. I've seen them grumble about 9 wins
Coach
in
Simmons
Tallahassee.
didn't even have a 7-win game streak in his first year as head coach at Florida A&M.
Who is that?
Coach Simmons. He didn't
Oh
have
yeah,
7.
but they still grumble. I'm
He
trying to
didn't
tell you
win.
now, they still a grumble. No, they don't. They
You're
ain't
acting
happy
like
with 7 wins.
Trey said they've only been to one celebration bowl, Mr. Ford, and they were
Yeah,
not.
but listen,
And what was it? Bethune Cookman was whooping up on their tail in the MEAC. So
always remember, FAMU for 80 years they only had 12 losing seasons.
7-5 isn't a losing season, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, but that ain't acceptable in Tallahassee. I'm just telling you that. That's not acceptable down there.
Well, you already know what I'm about to say.
Please go ahead and say it.
If Jackson State goes into FAMU and beat FAMU, that man will be fired. And Jackson State defensive coordinator will be the head coach of FAMU next year.
He is not going to FAMU.
Y'all don't like it? I'm telling you. This man, look, umpire.
Coach Quinn do not want to be a rattler. First of all, they do too much. First of all, they do way too much on like telling they coach. They have a weekly meeting telling they coach about all the stuff they don't like. And they don't have a collective, as he said. Look at Miss Mary laughing. Miss Mary, why are you over there giggling? Miss
I'm
Mary
telling
over
you.
there cracking up. They don't have a collective. I didn't say that. The coach said that they need to do better at having a collective. The AD said that they be riding on buses long time, a long time. A long time. They be on a bus 16, 17 hours. Coach Quinn is not used to that.
Hey, all I'm telling you, if you keep whooping me like this, I'm going to get the person that's whooping me. That's all I'm saying. And
if you keep on whooping me, I'm gonna go get the person that's whooping on me and tell them to wait
I'm
for
tired
me.
of this whooping. I'm gonna get. Hey, you doing the whooping? Come on over here. We tired of it.
And just like she said, FAMU is not a stable athletic program right now that you just want to.
FAMU is not stable anywhere. they in shambles. I mean, you got to think about it. FAMU is worried about beating Valley. So you in shambles when you worry about beating Valley. That's
like you have the president and the board threatening to take athletic scholarships to pay for the president's salary. That's not a place that folks would just jump to try to get to.
Charlie Ward gonna become their football head coach one. Well, hey, I wouldn't. They gonna try. They got to shake something down there, fam. Something has to shake. I mean, I hate to see fam in that situation, but wow, that's all I can say. Because I don't think Coach Cozy's mind is into football. That's just me.
What? Coach Cozy has been
playing softball umpire for the SEC.
No, he has been recruiting his tail off. He's been recruiting.
Recruiting
but
who?
Like you said, he needs. Oh
recruiting
God.
Who? Recruiting who?
He's done some good recruiting.
Good portal. He's been good in the portal. Fam, you've been good in the portal for the last 2 years.
He just picked up a tight end or something this week, didn't you? Last week.
I mean, it's portal games over here for this last little stretch. It's gonna be portal games. Nobody's getting high schoolers. The only way you're gonna get an offer out of high school, fresh out of high school, is if you're in a championship type program, like that, what is it? Langston Hughes, Mr. Ford, ain't that in Georgia?
Yeah, that's in South
That's,
Florida.
we
That's
got some
South Florida.
folks there. So they have championship programs that you can pull high school students that, you know, they've won champions. They're in the 5A, 6A range. So yeah, you'll pull some high schoolers out of there. But now that there's no mark against eligibility, if you go to JUCO, or I'm sorry, now that they have like extra eligibility, if you went to JUCO, there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to be sticking around for a lot longer because they have more eligibility if they went to JUCO. So it's going to be hard for high schoolers to get playing time or get offers right out of high school.
Well, where y'all get that big ass boy from Houston, Mississippi from?
Cade Arnold. Okay, so he is what you call one of those student athletes. He's a bona fide 3-star, right?
That man 26 years of age.
No, he's not. He's out of high school.
I seen him on the Jackson State thing. I said, that's no way. That damn boy 18, man.
Talking about it, saying nothing. Don't worry about the Rattlers. We are not concerned. This is clearly about SWAC Media Day. So I will be talking about all of the schools. And if y'all don't like it, you can exit.
Who said a word about the Rattlers?
Reginald Peace.
Reginald, how much y'all paying for Martha's wig? That's what I
want. Where's Peace at on here? Wait a minute.
Get him, Mr. Ford. No.
Oh.
Man, fam got some issues, bro. I ain't lying. I'm like, damn, dog. Yeah, I mean, your AD, she likes to go to casino and gamble. Your president like to wear $1,000
ORG.
$50 wigs. I mean, come on, man.
The AD's on a leave right now.
Yeah.
So basically, my point is this. This is SWAC Media Day. So during SWAC Media Day, I'm going to be prepared to speak to all of the schools.
Ask Coach Cozy how many balls and strikes he going to call this year. Tell him to get back into football, man. I need FAMU fan base to come back and impress me.
He needs his fans to get in football. They over here talking about pulling out and not donating to the school. Like, here, that's why you have a collective. Because if you have a collective that's only for football or only for athletics and it's outside of the university, then Marva can't touch that money. That's why you guys need a collective.
Don't knock that wig game.
Lord have mercy. We over here trying to talk about football. Mr. Ford, is that offensive lineman gonna be there again? Ashton Gable? Is he there another year?
Yeah, he's coming to the media day.
Right. So I think in terms of like the players that'll be, maybe we should do that on Thursday, right? Which is the first team and second team prospectives for preseason.
Yeah. But he's coming. He's coming to the.
So who do you have at linebacker preseason?
For who?
Preseason, like, you know how they release first team and second team.
Yeah.
Orangey, who you got for quarterback? Of course, on first team I have Jacoby and Morgan.
Them two linebackers. One's name Reed Pulliam. Was it Pulliam? What's that guy? What's them kid's name?
Reed Pulliam. Jackson
and then what's the other kid's name from Hoover? Y'all got another linebacker from Hoover. No, Jeremiah's the defensive lineman. I'm talking about the other linebacker with Reed Pulliam.
Dang, so you just gonna name all Jackson State folks? You got to name other.
Yeah, them two linebackers y'all got, they the real deal.
I got Southern defensive tackles. Those two big boys.
What's their names?
Oh shit! I got it. Crook. What's them?
You got.
It's two of them. They got one of them is like 365 pounds.
Yeah, Gibbons. That's the guy. That Shelby. What's his name? Shelby Gibbons.
I don't want to say it because Whitley be making fun of me. I call him Jakelby. She said that I just added a J. Kelby Givens.
Yeah, that guy can play, man.
Yeah, that big boy. Yeah, that dude's a monster. Yeah, definitely him. I need to know about FAMU's defensive
Ashton
line.
Taylor, Mr. Ford for linebacker.
Yeah, is that the kid from Hoover?
Hoover, Alabama.
Yeah, he's from Hoover. That kid could have went anywhere.
That's number 30, ain't it? I want to say his number was 30. Yeah, he's from Hoover. Oh no, number 3. Yeah, his previous school was Tennessee Tech. You got him as first team linebacker.
Yeah, he in that recruit. Yeah.
Damn, it's not looking good for y'all. We need some more. We need some more folks. You know, to be fair, right now you guys have 1, 2, 3, 4 Jackson State folks. You got 1 FAMU person, 1 Southern.
Southern got a good field goal kicker. I can tell you that much.
What's their name?
Man, I ain't got my other screen pulled up. Let me put my other screen up.
JSU hates us because we bought parity to the SWAC. Leonard, nobody is worried about FAMU. Y'all hate us because you can't beat us. 3 out of 4 years, SWAC champions. In the last 3 out of 4 years, SWAC champions. And the last, and we're HBCU National Champs. Come on, bro. Let's be real. All right. Who do you guys have in the chat? Valley bought parity to you, ended that home streak.
Yeah, hey man, I've never seen a school hyped to play Valley in my life.
I would be hyped in Atlanta. In the I would be hyped to go to the. Listen, it's amazing to walk into that stadium.
Yes.
And just walk on the field and turn around and look at all the lights, and you see the logos coming across the screen and stuff's flashing and people are screaming. You got the band, and it's a great experience. So for Valley and Coach Buckley to be able to have that type of experience his first year as head coach, I know that's
I'm gonna say again, Valley. You hype to play Valley. Hey, congratulations, FAMU. That's all I can tell you. And if y'all get beat again, just pack up and go back to the MEAC.
So who do y'all have at wide receiver? I mean, I didn't want to say Jonas Fertillion, but if we just being honest, like this is my thing. When do it becomes like Jonas Fertillion and who else? Shamar Savage. I mean, I don't want to do an all Jackson State team for the preseason. We need to find some other players for the preseason. You got anybody else that you know of?
Everybody's hiding their players.
What do you mean they're hiding them?
They're hiding their players. You got to look on the roster and flip a coin to find out that this guy's starting, or you got to go look back to see if he has a highlight from last year.
Y'all can't name all Jackson State players. Nate Rembert. We're literally naming all Jackson State players. So as wide receivers, I have Jonas Fertillion, Nate Rembert, Jacoby and Morgan at quarterback. Okay, let's get a tight end in there. Y'all name a tight end down in the chat.
Jeez.
There's 200 folks in the chat. I know we got some other teams that know who their tight end is. Are they trying to keep it a secret?
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
David said you have no choice. They had the best stats last year. So that is true. I have Jonas Fertillion. So that is true.
I keep telling you. Look, FAMU cannot even name you their starting quarterback.
Oh Lord.
Come on now.
Marvin Landry. Oh yeah. cares? But you know that they are not going to release a SWAC Media Day preseason with all.
Man,
Yeah.
folks ain't releasing. Look,
Okay. Dre's got T-Set. Where's T-Set at? Gremlin?
Gremlin. Yeah, Gremlin.
T-Set can be QB2. He can be on the second team.
T-Set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay. I got you.
Oh, you want to do quad, or you want to do Cornelius Quad Brown, or Cornelius? You want to do Quad Brown at Alabama A&M? Who is your QB2?
That's the kid that came from UAPB, right?
No. Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah,
no. Quad Brown is the one that's coming to SWAC Media Day.
Wow. Well,
Dre, were you trying to be funny?
Gotta be funny with T-Sets, man. Gotta be.
Okay, so you have Quad Brown for Alabama A&M, QB2.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Oh, you're saying the UAPB.
Yeah. Well, see, if he ain't starting, I mean, how can he be QB2? I mean, I thought he would start, but guess not.
Well, he's okay. So the only reason why I would say that he's not starting is because if he was starting, why would you talking about Mekhi Hagans, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So the thing with that is Quad Brown is the one that's going to SWAC Media Day.
Oh, man, that's well. Hey,
we can't even agree on a QB2. Okay, let's sit on that. Let's do running backs or special teams. You got Travis Terrell, right?
Yeah, Marcus Dupree grandson. That's
Marcus Dupree.
His grandson.
So you just gonna name all Jackson State folks?
No, not all Jackson State. I said Southern has the best field goal kicker in the SWAC, but look, it's hard to get any information out of these schools now.
Cam McCoy. They got Cam McCoy from Southern as QB2.
Dude, McCoy, that's the one that came.
Your bullies. Why would you say dude from Bama State? Who is dude from? They got G Baby. G Baby did have the most field goals last year. Like I said, this is looking like an all Jackson State team, y'all. I ain't trying to boast or brag, but good Lord.
Oh, Dupree is a wide receiver? I thought he was, well, y'all use him at every damn thing. I thought he was an all-purpose athlete. Well, guess not. The games I see him, he played every position, it seemed like, except quarterback, which is good for him. I mean, if y'all ever seen his grandpa play, the best that never was, man.
Hagans is now at Alabama A&M. I know Hunt, but the question is who is going to be QB2 in the preseason SWAC? See, I'm trying to do a preseason SWAC, like guessing who's on first team and second team. I'm trying to get some folks to name some other players from other
I don't think we're gonna find out anybody until to next Wednesday. Then they're gonna release their stuff. Until then, I good luck trying to figure out, because I know I've been trying to figure out somebody from FAMU that's actually can be on A, B, or C team. So somebody can help me out. Because y'all, I mean, I know y'all football coach, he probably talking to Charlie Ward right now and trying to find out some football plays or something. My goodness. Hike to play Valley. I'm still cracking up on that.
I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm happy for Valley. They're gonna make some money.
Valley put up a GoFundMe and make some money now. Valley good at that. Hey, they went to Washington, D.C. on a GoFundMe. Go ahead, Valley.
Lord have mercy.
That's the truth, man. They say put y'all money up. MAGA got y'all. I didn't see him perform. Did anybody see him perform? I know Alcorn on the basis. Alcorn said they got their money.
So the only non-Jackson State people I have is Ashton from FAMU, Kelby Givens from Southern, and Cameron McCoy from Southern, formerly from Jackson State. That's it. Everybody else is Jackson State. They're gonna think that I'm being Jackson State like heavy, but it's the truth. I mean, they had the most dominating stats.
Well, think about it. Jackson State is returning the majority of their football team on both sides of the ball. That is a problem for the rest of the SWAC. A lot of SWAC schools, especially Prairie View and Alabama A&M, and Southern still has quarterback issues. But in FAMU, no telling what they got. So it's a mystery amongst the teams this year. Valley has an all-new team, all-new staff. UAPB lost quarterback, wide receiver. They lost everybody. So it's a lot of new pieces coming in, which I think is good. But then again, to put a team together in a couple of months and say, go out there and play. I guess I'm just old school traditionalist. Like, hey, if we play together a couple of years, we're going to be better together. But if now, I'm not saying that you cannot plug and put people in and play like Prairie View said they got. So it's going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I'd rather stick with a team that I didn't grew a freshman and a sophomore. Now he's a junior, or a sophomore, now a freshman, now a sophomore, and he didn't got to play. I'd rather have teams like that. But I know my way of thinking is long and old and gone, because if you
it's not. It's literally
because you get 31 players. FAMU had 31 players on their team last year. 31 from the portal. And PV, if y'all up in here, y'all creeping up on that 30-something number. Y'all up there with portal players. Also,
they just recently had somebody from PV. He's a grad. He just recently committed to Alabama State.
He left Death Row. That's what I call Prairie View. Death Row. That man said, "Don't call me. You call me sir." I said, "Damn, go ahead, drill instructor. Something wrong with that coach." But hey, and maybe it might work for him. Maybe. I mean, because you are playing in the West, though. So you're playing UAPV and Valley, and you're gonna thump your chest, but don't thump too hard. That's all I can tell you. I mean, that homecoming game at Southern, I think really gonna find out about that man, because I think that's their hardest game in the conference on the road, right? They only have to play because Grambling is a neutral site game, so they play Southern, and on the
Grambling is a neutral site game.
Grambling, yeah, they play in the State Fair Classic. They play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's neutral site. But I think the only hard game they got to play on the road is Southern. So I'm not saying they can't do it, but I really want to see this team. I will be at the Texas Southern and Southern game, because that game is at Texas Southern. So
Tremaine says that he is the law at PV. Don't get it twisted.
Death Row, that's Suge Knight at PV. That's who that is. That man talking like he's Suge Knight. But good luck to him, man, because he has his fan base on another level. I really believe y'all just broke into my house and stole all that old English that I be hiding. Y'all must drink that with me.
Why are you hiding old English? Who you hiding from, yourself?
Anybody that come over and get thirsty, because you got it's some alcoholics, man. They'll drink anything. I'm like, bro, there's only probably 3 people in the universe that drink Old English 800, and I'm one of them. So,
oh God.
Yes, yeah, it takes a strong person to drink that.
So,
all right, next coach.
I have all Jackson State people, with the exception of a couple of kids. So that means that it's going to be a Jackson State live for real.
If you can, please interview that. Well, now the kicker won't be there. I'm about to say Southern should have brought the kicker. That's one of the few African-American kickers in the league that's kicking over 40 yards. You don't find too many of them. I mean, the dude's pretty good. Southern definitely gonna need him. So
you said that the kicker.
Yeah, from Southern. What's his name?
Get me his name.
I can't. I'm looking for it now. Man, I took my damn
I
contacts.
don't think it's Josh Griffin. Josh Griffin's gone.
The dude from last year, he left?
I want to say Josh Griffin's gone.
Oh man, if he gone, oh man, Southern, y'all in trouble then. Man, oh no, I didn't know he left. Where he go? Tell me he was a senior.
He gone.
I ain't know Southern. I didn't know y'all had seniors on y'all football team. I'm joking, Southern. I'm joking, Southern. I'm joking now. You know them folks. They've been through one of them burnt chicken wings at me. I gotta watch Southern fans. Oof. I'm surprised Crook don't know it with all them $18 million that they claim they had. Where's this dude at?
Wait a minute. 18 million. Wait, how many kickers are going? Whitley! Whitley said, wait, how many kickers are going to SWAC Media Day this year? I want to say there's only one so far.
I'm about to say it ain't too many. Ain't too many going.
Whitley. One word, Angola. Why is he saying Angola? What is that? Who's
Angola? Angola is the state prison in Louisiana. Who talking about Angola?
I don't know. Tiger the Under said Angola. Why are you saying Angola?
Angola.
The only one that's bringing a kicker, I want to say, is UAPB.
No, Angola's a state prison. No, you don't want to go there. No, no. That's swamp and marsh surrounded there. You ain't kicking no field goals up in there. I guarantee
Crook
you.
don't know nothing about football. Ask him about the band. Oh Lord.
Oh, Crook was in the band?
No, he wasn't. He's not in none of those things. I don't know why they said that.
Oh my goodness.
JSU is the only school who's not afraid to show what they got. I'm telling you, like, dang, from A to Z, you gonna know who's in our quarterback room: Jacobian Morgan, Lockhart, Parker Stofa, Ethan Terrell. We already know who the quarterbacks are. Wide receivers, we can name them. Running backs, we can name them. Everybody else is keeping it a secret. What's the big secret?
I told you, this year's been the hardest to find out who anybody is. Even with Texas Southern, if you notice, like they hype videos and stuff that they showing now, you see two or three quarterbacks throwing passes, 2 or 3 running backs, and a bunch of wide receivers. So I'm like, okay, they're trying to keep everybody guessing. Well, which is, I guess, I don't know, because it's kind of crazy. I'm like, bro, ain't too much you can really do between now and game day to confuse folks. I mean, your game, if it's not nationally televised, it's gonna be somewhere somebody can see it. So it's like they're trying to hide everything. For what reason, I have no idea. They don't even have this kicker on here. I'm looking for. No.
I'm excited about SWAC Media Day. They had Big 12 Media Day today.
Yeah.
And there was 130 people watching.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, 130 people. It was on YouTube. They had Big 12 Conference Media Day or whatever, and they had 100 people watching. I was like, okay, that's not bad.
It's SWAC. I know SWAC Digital is gonna be there. Are they gonna be doing a live also?
See, that's why we should definitely not be like, I'm gonna show you guys just so you guys can know, like, when we talk about how many people watch different things, and we talk about, like, now of course I'm pretty sure they showed it on ESPN, but
it was on ESPNU. Their media day was, yes.
It was what now?
It was on ESPNU, the Big 12 media day.
The Big 12 was, I mean, it's going to be on the ESPN for us too.
Okay.
But they had 1,400 views on YouTube. that is bad for the Big 12. No, it's not. I'm not going to necessarily say it's bad. I'm just showing you guys like, oh, okay.
With it being in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, I think that's good.
I be averaging at least 2,000, 2,200.
You got to remember also with Texas and Texas A&M not in there. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean,
you think it's good? 1.4 views. They have 81,000 subscribers. Maybe it's just maybe it'll grow overnight.
Yeah, because like I said, you got to remember it's Tuesday.
Or people don't care, or people just don't care.
Well, I mean,
Leonard, you don't understand what the big day is about. What is the big deal about Media Day? The conference is basically the big deal about Media Day is media has access to all of the schools. They all come to one central place, and you have the opportunity to ask those different schools questions. You have the chance to interview them. You get a chance to meet the players. What's the big deal? That's the big deal. At the beginning of the season, you get to talk to the student athletes that, you know, I had a chance to talk to, what was it, Evan Henry? Beginning and end. You know, you get a chance to see what's on these young men's mind. You get to meet the coaches, the ADs. Yeah, you get to meet the players. You get to ask them questions. Where were you at? Did this person go to FAMU? Y'all didn't have Media Day when y'all was in the MEAC? It's a great time for you to get those that trash talk on wax and in 4K right before the season starts. You get to ask the questions that you know that they're probably not going to answer, like who's your quarterback one, or what type of offensive scheme do you plan on running? They're going to give some PR answers, but it's still an opportunity.
I just hope they don't ask too many NIL and portal questions. They was asking a lot of that at the Big 12, and a lot of coaches had a lot to say about the NIL deals, the portal, the changing of players. I mean, I'm like, bruh, it's here. It's nothing we really can ever do about it. I mean, you know, what Texas.
I mean, from their perspective, so, you know, that's one of the main questions is how are you guys navigating NIL and portal? Like, how are you guys able to maintain the majority of your roster? Because in the grand scheme of things, the amount, like you said, when you start winning, coaches start leaving, players start leaving.
Yes.
Jackson State didn't have that many players that left, right?
No, that's why I keep telling folks, my traditional way of keeping players and growing them from freshman to junior to senior is just about done. But on the flip side of it, you know, just say if you did start at a school, you used to play in a certain style and a certain system. Now you come to a whole new school and you got to start all over, and now you got to spend not spend so much time, but you got to spend some time with these special, they still young men, 18, 19, 20-year-olds for the majority part. And I think you just reinventing the wheel a lot of times with the portal. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, because some coaches like new stuff. Some, you know, hey, we can do this instead of this that we did last year. But I just think if you can somehow keep that team, like Jackson State has kept the majority of their team, I think it'll be better for your team. And like a team, like just take FAMU. How many of those 31 players that they got from the portal last year are going to be back at FAMU? And we don't know, because you try to find. I mean, you look at these folks' rosters, man. It's just kind of blanking, and unless you. And I follow a lot of these teams real close, and I'm like, I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. I mean, I know this guy. He didn't play that a lot last year. He did this year. But that's what it's a lot like now. Not just the SWACs, it's everybody. I think what Texas Tech said, it's something up to like almost $10 million they've spent on their football team starting lineup, something like that. It's a crazy amount of money that they put behind these schools. Texas A&M and SEC, each one of their linemen get almost $1 million. The starting linemen do, and Texas A&M still ain't winning.
And they ain't winning.
That's the lie. Exactly.
I don't really know if these boys are getting $1 million or not. I need to see some tax returns. Who's doing their tax returns?
That's what I want to know.
I don't really think they're getting $1 million. $1 million, yeah, they might get $1 million in benefits, but I don't really know. I don't think they're getting $1 million. Have you seen that young man that played for Texas A&M? I want to say he still hasn't signed his contract. They were trying not to put anything in there. They're trying to do something with his contract in terms of not guaranteeing him money if he gets injured. So he wouldn't sign. Do you know who I'm talking about? Deion Sanders was trying to get him. He had like 5 tackles his whole career, but went first round.
Oh, you talking about he went to the Cleveland Browns?
Not Cleveland. He didn't go to Cleveland. He went somewhere else. He went to it's another orange team. He went to the Cincinnati Bengals.
To the Bengals? Oh, that's the same. That's the same defensive end you're talking about, though. Okay, yeah, that guy.
Know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. He went like top 10, didn't he?
Shamar Stewart. That boy didn't have no stats, but he was like freak.
Yeah, because his
chart freak energy. Like he got a 10 out of 10 possible for his for how flexible he is or how athletic he is. But I guess they didn't want to guarantee him some contracts in terms of if he ever got injured. So he refused to sign the contract. I wonder, did he sign it yet? He didn't do practice. He didn't do any of that. I'm like, well, are you gonna play? Are you gonna play in the NFL? Like, what's going on?
They'll probably. I guarantee you, he'll end up signing, but it's gonna be all kind of stipulations now since he'll hold out. Because what OTH is already.
Stewart reportedly have not had contract talks since June as training camp looms. Still drawing heat over the Shamar Stewart situation.
They drafted him. That's what they get.
The disagreement centers around a clause that allows the Bengals to void future guaranteed money in the contract if Shamar is suspended, even for on-field reasons like helmet-to-helmet penalties.
Oh, wow. That's rough there. I wonder who else got a contract that's crazy like that.
It says if an agreement isn't reached, Shamar could potentially sit out the season and re-enter the 2026 draft, but he would be ineligible to be drafted by the Bengals in that scenario. Why would they play with him like that?
That's something. Because he was like, you would waste a first round draft pick on that? I mean, nah, I don't get that. Don't give me the lie.
But they were making him seem like it was instead of, if you didn't look for yourself as to the reason why he's holding out, you wouldn't have even seen that.
Yeah, and I'm like Franklin. I wouldn't sign that contract because a helmet-to-helmet hit. You know how common that is in the NFL.
He gonna be in the Arena League. NFL don't play. Damn.
Go to Canada or the UFL. That's where it's gonna be at. I'm still looking at these rosters. I don't see any damn thing that's all right. That's okay, SWAC. After week 1, I'm gonna have all the information. Me and Ed gonna have all the information. I'm not relying on Ed for important stuff, but some good stuff that makes me scratch my head. Ed knows, so I will definitely find out because this is crazy about these rosters that they got. I mean,
Raquan Smith held contract stipulations during his rookie year as well. He signed very late. Okay, so hopefully it works out to his advantage, right? So I will be back here on Thursday. I have a semi preseason SWAC first and second team that I'll put together. I'm missing some folks. I don't want to have all Jackson State people, but I mean, because that will be biased. But it looks like Reed Pulliam, Jacoby Morgan, Jeremiah Williams, Ashton Taylor, Jonas Fortillion, Nate Rimbert, Travis Terrell, G Baby, Landy. And y'all think we ain't running it back?
Well, I said I don't see Jackson State. I mean, it's theirs. Not only is theirs to lose, but if they do win, this will just put the stamp on what I said was a dynasty. And people told me I was crazy.
Edwin, you didn't give me no names of any players on Southern's roster that deserve to be on first or second team. I got Givens on there, but I don't have anybody else.
Hey, Edwin, I said the field goal kicker. And the defensive
Joshua Griffin graduated. I did put Givens on there, Whitley.
Okay. I'm about to say that defensive tackle, that dude, he's a monster. I ain't gonna lie, he's a monster. That dude can actually flat out play football.
What's his name?
Hell, I know.
What's his number?
I'm trying to look. They change names, not names. They change numbers all the time. So you need to see Southern Jaguar stuff. That stuff is just. Yeah,
At least I'm not the only one that says Jaguars.
Jaguars. Yeah, that's what they is.
I can't wait till they release the new rosters.
Them ain't really Jaguars. You know those are homeless cats that they found on Plank Road and they put dots on them. Those are not real Jaguars they got there. And the little female Jaguar, she look like something wrong with her. But hey, I ain't gonna mess with Southern, man. Southern, they like to put in my inbox also hateful messages. It ain't my fault because the water that y'all use in school is the water that y'all get out the bluff. I'm just saying. It makes sense. Y'all got a little dirty river there and y'all drink out of it. But I'm the media guy. Don't blame me, Southern, especially Mr. Crook. So, but I can't find this guy's name. Because I know his name if I see him, but I'm looking at this list and I just don't see it. So, what is it? Is it him? Let's see if it's Willie. No, it's not Willie Wiles, because no. Willie Miles is not, no. I don't know who it is.
Okay, well, if you don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Unless you want to pull, unless you're talking about one of the SWAC attendees, that's the only. I think I want to say that Southern is bringing a defensive tackle with them to SWAC Media Day.
What's his name?
Let me pull it up for you. Nope. They're bringing Givens. They're bringing Darren Morris as a wide receiver.
Who gonna throw the ball to him? Shit, me. Come on, man.
They got Cam McCoy from Jackson State.
Crook said he wasn't playing. Crook said he was playing baseball.
Who's Crook? Don't know nothing.
Oh, damn. Well, Crook, I tried to help you, man.
Oh, they got Davion Westmoreland from PVAMU.
Why he go to Southern? That's a good question, huh?
Oh, Lord.
He must like burnt chicken. He must like burnt chicken wings and some messed up jambalaya and some bad pasta. Them folks tried to poison me the last time I was at Southern. I said, I'm not eating that, man. No, no.
Why are you talking about Southern's cooking?
Southern has horrible tailgate food. Alcorn and Southern has the most horrible food in the world to eat at tailgate. No, don't eat there. Bring your own food.
They said we're a quarterback away from winning the SWAC. Can somebody please? Who, Graylin? Who is a quarterback away from winning the SWAC? If you hit.
Well, I told you, man, some of these fans, look, these folks are delulu. That's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Listen, okay, so of course you have to have an offensive line. Of course you have to have a defensive line. But in terms of your offense, if you don't have a quarterback, how are you going to win? You have to have a quarterback in order to win in the SWAC.
Graylin, are you talking about Southern or are you talking about Prairie View?
I don't think please God, don't be talking about Prairie View. I think he's talking about Southern.
Because I'm serious, Southern and Prairie View, listen, both teams say they go 11-1. Southern say they win in the SWAC West, but Prairie View say they gonna win.
They won last year, so
yeah,
they won last year.
Yeah, Southern did win. That's what I'm saying. Southern say they're gonna win. Listen, Southern say they're gonna win the SWAC West. That's all they're gonna win. But Prairie View say they're gonna have the same record and they're gonna win the Celebration Bowl. Like I say, there's some Delulu fans out there.
Well, it's all going to be settled on the grass. But like I said, Thursday we'll go over the preseason list. Y'all didn't really give me any. I'm not trying to be funny, but you and Mr. Ford do not give constructive questions to ask people.
I gave you a couple of
You're
good
supposed
questions.
to give media trained, like Mr. Ford be asking questions that you cannot ask somebody that type of question. Like,
I'm sorry, I'm a political
hey,
scientist.
you be over there talking about ask the commissioner. I'm not asking that man about that.
Ask the commissioner. I want to get to the nitty gritty because I need to find out.
No, SWAC Media Day is not about getting down to the nitty gritty. SWAC Media Day is real surface level, real PR. It's not. You're not get down to
who drinking OE with
me and the Jimmy and Joe's. You're not doing that.
G-Bo, who drinking OE with me? I need me a drinking partner.
Oh, no, he's from Prairie View. And he does not like it when you talk about.
He one of them. You want them 11-1 players without a quarterback. I got you, bro. It's all good.
They have their quarterback. They're just not revealing their roster right now.
I got $1 million, but I'm not gonna tell it to the tax people either. Man, get out of here, man. Hey, y'all got Suge Knight running Prairie View right now. I'm gonna call your football coach and tell him you on the internet. I bet you won't be on here next week.
Lord have mercy.
You know that coach is like Suge Knight. He be telling them, man, he had them boys.
Let that man talk, cause it's gonna get solved.
It's so funny. It's funny to me that he goes off like that. I'm like, damn, Suge Knight.
I mean, listen, if that's what gets the crowd into it, gets them buying season tickets, gets them in those games, gets them at the games. I want to say the State Fair Classic, the Labor Day Classic. That's going to be one of the biggest games of the season for the SWAC West.
Yes, yeah. Always they start off with a good. It's always a good game. I mean, last year, Texas Southern finally stopped that losing streak they had. Good for them.
That's what I'm saying. We're not even looking at Chris Dishman and what he got over there. He is a quiet giant.
I'm telling you, that is my underdog to win the SWAC West. And I'm like I said, they're not going undefeated, but watch Texas Southern this year. So,
well, y'all have a good night. Oh wait, I have to.
Sound like Charleston White telling on people.
See, I told you Joshua Griffin's not there anymore.
He graduated.
He gone. Here, let me
Crook,
play that.
Crook, I tried, man.
Let me
try, Crook.
So that for all the folks who lost someone. Where is that at? Oh.
He made a big time, Willie. He gone, Willie.
He go.
Well, look, Prairie View fans, before I get off here, I cannot wait till the season starts. Because if Suge Knight don't win every game outside of that one game y'all supposed to lose, y'all gonna hear it every week. Y'all gonna be in my inbox like FAMU fan was, crying. I'm just saying. I'm just the media guy.
The only one that was in your inbox crying was
EA.
EA. Your frat brother. That's the only one that was in there crying.
Man, I can't wait to that game, man. I cannot wait to FAMU Jackson State. That's my first time going to that campus.
Over there making up 1,001 excuses for why they team didn't do this and why they team didn't do that. All right, this is.
All right, thank you for having me. I'm out of here.
With the Mississippi Mass Choir singing backup.
I'm out of here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for stopping by. You're gonna get some gospel, y'all. Okay. That was recommended by Mr. Walker. All right, y'all. Thank you for sending that. Braxton don't know how to sing like that. But baby, that young man was singing. Maybe they didn't record the rest of it, but that was my church. They would have been towed up for at least another 10 to 15 minutes with the organ and the drums. They would have had he would have came back and had to sing some more. That was good. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Listen, Thursday? Yeah. Thursday, we're going to talk more about SWAC. I'm going to try to keep it like, this is supposed to be SWAC Media Day. Y'all, we can't talk about Prairie View and delusions of grandeur. So we're going to talk about the young men, the student athletes. Maybe that will get some better questions, because some of these questions, I can't ask these types of questions to the coaches, nor any of the administrators or anybody else in the event that, you get a chance to talk to these folks. You don't want to ask them those types of questions. Those questions are okay for like here, but not at SWAC Media Day. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see you guys back here on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So we have Thursday SWAC Saturday, Thursday and SWAC Saturday. And then, yeah, I'm going to play my favorite gospel song, Leaving Out. It was full of gospel tonight. I appreciated that. It set the mood. It was good. It was good. Y'all have a good and blessed evening. Like the live, share, subscribe, join the membership for SWAC Media Day. If you're not a member, like, you won't be able to get in those chats. The chats, unfortunately, due to past circumstances, our chats are not going in for the general public. You do have to be a member in order to chat. Not to watch, you can watch, but to actually be in the chat. Everybody have a blessed night.
I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I don't control. The clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. That's been so good to me. He's been good to me. More than this world all you could ever be. He's been so good. But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord.